only Bawumia can be trusted to protect and improve the free senior high school program. I want to take you on a trip down memory lane. In 2008, candidate Akufo-Addo promised that he was going to introduce education reforms, including the free senior high school program, if he was elected as president. From that election till about 2016, the NDC has consistently opposed the free senior high school.
The government has budgeted 2 billion cedis for free SHS for this academic year. If you have 2 billion more to spend on education, will you spend all of it on free SHS?
That Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
Sometimes they say it's just politics. But the big picture is that consistently they've been against it. In fact, in election 2012 and 2016, they sponsored several adverts trying to convince the people of Ghana say free SHS no. Any.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to your Post Center. This is ABC Headline. I am Eric Chiniwamalo. Coming up in the headlines, the Ghana Police Service has assured its readiness to protect and collaborate with the media ahead of the 2024 election. Also, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has seized a 40-foot container at the Tema Port containing different models of firearms and live ammunition. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. To stay. You're welcome. We're streaming live on YouTube, ABC News GH Duo. To connect with us, let's begin with our first story. Now, the New Patriotic Party has accused the opposition National Democratic Congress of plotting to incite chaos in the Ashanti region ahead of the 2024 elections. The NPP claims this is part of the broader strategy by the NDC, led by retired COP Kofi Boakye, to intimidate voters and discourage support for the party on election day. At the press conference in Accra, NPP National Organizer Henry Nana Boakye warned that any attempt to disrupt peace in the party's strongholds would be met with firm resistance and will ultimately fail. The New Patriotic Party has also denied allegations that the party is conniving with Brigadier General Michael Opoku, the general officer commanding the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, to rig the poll in the Ashanti region.
The allegations made by the National Communications Officer and the NDCs are entirely baseless, devoid of any iota of credible evidence, and represent yet another desperate attempt by the NDC to raise tension and distract the people of Ghana from their own misdeeds. You level against a reputable army officer baseless allegations. You do not provide any, not even a single evidence, and yet you want us to take you serious. I have said that nobody can rig these elections. Look, we will vote at the polling station. We will count at the polling station. Collation will be done. The New Patriotic Party shall emerge victorious. His Excellency the Vice President will be the next president. Nobody can foment any sort of trouble, whatever form, whatever shape.
Meanwhile, the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Henry Nana Boakye, stated that the New Patriotic Party will win a free and fair poll without any plot of rigging the outcome of the December election. According to him, the December elections shall be transparent and fair in all manner as against the claims of the NDC.
We will vote in peace. We will cast our ballot in peace. Ghana will be united. Ghana will not fall, and I'm telling you, the New Patriotic Party shall emerge victorious. Indeed, the NDC's communications officer and the NDC failed to substantiate their claim with facts or evidence, demonstrating that this is
Away from that, but still on election-related stories, the People's National Convention has boasted that no party in the upcoming election can secure a 50+1 needed to the presidential election without their support. Addressing the media, the chairman of the party, Asaki Awingobert, stated that although the party regrets not to be contesting in the upcoming election, it will not sit aloof without throwing support to any of the two leading parties. He, however, stated that the party will make a decision on which candidate to support in the 2024 presidential election after a national executive meeting on Monday, 25th November 2024.
I wish to use this opportunity to appeal to all the rank and file of our party, the regional executives, constituency executives, party faithful, that the PNC national executive will not sit down and allow the 2024 general election to come and pass without making a decision as to where we want to go. We are by today opening up for discussions that we know the two major political parties, all of them want to form government. They cannot form government when PNC doesn't throw away to any of them. We have the numbers that can make the 51, the 50+1. 50+1, yes. And so we cannot pretend to say we are neutral for the 2024 election to come and pass without the PNC making its position. And so Monday meeting is going to be crucial, a day for declaration. We will discuss, and the majority will tell us where they want us to throw our support to. And so from now to Monday, the party is open for talks, for engagement. Anybody who have the interest of 1 vote, 2 vote, the millions vote of the PNC, we are saying by this FEC meeting, Functional Executive Committee meeting, we declare that we are open for talks and we are prepared for any engagement, and we are prepared to meet on Monday and take the and we are prepared.
Away from that, let's do some more news. And the Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, has disclosed that the police task force will set up a media briefing center during the 2024 general election. In a meeting held between the Police Management Board yesterday, November 20, 2024, and senior management of the editors of various media houses, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare pleaded with the media to work with the police service in order to ensure that misinformation, disinformation, and misinformation will have no role in the upcoming general election. Derek Kimukisiedu has more in this report.
The Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, and Police Management Board held a brief yesterday, November 20, 2024, with the senior management and editors of various media houses to plan on the security arrangement for the media ahead of the 2024 general elections. Speaking at the brief, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare stated that the media is one powerful source in Ghana's democratic dispensation. He says concerns become negative when there is misinformation. He pleaded with the media to work with the Ghana Police Service in order to ensure that misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation will have no role in the upcoming general elections. Due to this, the Ghana Police Service will set up a National Election Security Task Force Briefing Center where reporters and the police will be placed in one tent to work in fact-checking information to avoid misinforming the general public.
You are once again welcome. But I have one plea. And the plea is that you are such a powerful force in our democratic dispensation. One thing that is of concern to all of us is information. And the concern becomes very negative when it is misinformation and disinformation. We should make sure that we work together so that during this elections period, misinformation, more information, and disinformation will have no role in this. It is for that reason that we are setting up National Election Security Task Force Press Briefing Center, a tent, air conditioned with a capacity to take on the average of 100 reporters. You can come, we'll serve you with coffee, we'll serve you with tea, and of course biscuit. And relax, and you can be with us 24/7. And we will be sharing the information with the speed of light. Something has happened, it has come to our attention, we are dealing with it, we'll come and give you more details. And if you have more details to give us, you bring it to our attention, we'll cross-check, then we put it out there. And instantly, every now and then, there will be somebody there to speak. And we are doing that in a manner that has also not been done before. The people who will be speaking on these matters will be speaking in 7 languages.
Dr. George Ekufu Dampare further cautioned people who make statements to intimidate others during election to be careful as his outfit will act with full force of the law.
Also to the people who think that they can probably come out making statements to intimidate and do all that. We want to tell them that life will become very uncomfortable for them. So they shouldn't even try it. Because at the end of the day, when you do anything and de-escalation fails, you do anything and engagement fails, when we come and we'll come with the full force of the law in a manner that dignifies us as a people, please don't complain. And it is here that we want to seek your support as we do that in a way that the people will know that at the end, it is here that we want to seek your support as we do that in a way that the people will know that at the end of the day, if the police also get it right, they have people to speak for them.
Derek Kumikisiedu reporting for ABC News.
The police also get it right. They have people to speak for them.
And away from that, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has seized a 40-foot container at the Tema Port. The container numbered MEDU 4496951 was shipped from United States. Officials found 53 pistols, 74 magazines and 65 live rounds of ammunition concealed in suitcases. The shipment, which had been forcefully declared as containing vehicles and personal effect, was intercepted on November 4, 2024, following thorough investigation by the GRA's Intelligence and Preventive Unit. Commissioner of the Customs, Brigadier General Zibrim, confirmed the development and stated that arrests have been made and investigations are ongoing. Brigadier General Zibrim also warned that anyone who imports ammunition without the requisite license or permit is committing a crime and will be made to face the full extent of the law. We sincerely apologize for the loss of sound over there, but we'll bring you that report later. Let's do some more news. The Greater Accra Regional Minister Daniel Nikwete Titus Glover has taken action against vendors operating illegally around the recently inaugurated Port interchange in Accra. In a viral video circulating on social media, Mr. Glover is seen dismantling tables and chairs set up by hawkers who had defied prior warnings to vacate the area. The minister's move is in line with efforts to maintain the structural integrity and aesthetic appeal of the newly commissioned project, which is expected to enhance traffic flow and connectivity across the Accra-Tema motorway. Now, this enforcement follows Glover's external warning during a commissioning of the interchange that no kiosk, containers or unauthorized structures should be set up near the intersection. However, vendors returned shortly after the event, resuming operations despite the directive. The Spintex Flower Port interchange, which includes a dual carriageway and multiple ramp, aims to alleviate traffic congestion in key areas such as Spintex, Cantonment, East Legon and Toma. Authorities have urged the public to cooperate in safeguarding the facility for long-term use. And on that note, we end the morning bulletin here on ABC Headlines. I am Eric Chinibot-Melu. ABC in the Morning continues shortly after this. But before, visit our website, www.abcnewsgh.com. We are your election poll center. We say vote and not violence. Once again, have a good morning.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishim.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
This is where the headlines are probed, policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it is a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that hurdle?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television. This is
key allocation.
We are currently here at Kaneshie.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it is a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you've still not answered the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-up?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television. This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it is a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to...
It is a beautiful Thursday morning, 21st of November in the year of our Lord 2024. You're welcome to ABC in the Morning Live on ABC News GH. I am Abna Mante. Thank you for making time with us this morning on ABC in the Morning. We'll bring you our front story where we are looking at the economic needs of people against the maintenance of public infrastructure. We'll bring you more on this. We'll bring you sports. We'll bring you health tips like you need them. And we'll bring you Ghana Speaks, where your voice matters. When it's time for Ghana Speaks, we'll open the phone line 053-916-1609. And we'll be looking forward to hearing from you. We'll also bring you Business Fix this morning, a main discussion which you do not want to miss at all. We'll bring you Happy Hour and Executive Interview. Executive Interview is that segment that you get to sell what you do. It is the segment that allows you to show what you're doing, that service you're providing to the Ghanaian public, and they would love to hear from you. So get in touch with us and let's have some conversations on Executive Interview. Our show is streaming live on YouTube. The YouTube channel is ABC News GH. You can also send us some conversations, interact with us via our socials. Our social media handles are at ABC News GH _, at abcnewsgh_, and our website www.abcnewsgh.com, www.abcnewsgh.com. Here at ABC News, we tell you that we are your credible election guide, and that is the reason why we bring you the Poll Center. At the Poll Center, all we are advocating for are your votes, not violence. On the election day, it is your thumb that is needed to make that decision. Your fist is not what is needed. Don't allow yourself to be used as any tool or conduit for any form of election-related violence before, during, or after the elections. Let's go to the polls, have a very decent elections, come back and await the EC as the EC announces the various results. Maybe the MP you're looking forward to win and will win. Maybe that presidential candidate you're looking forward to win and will win. And if they win, kudos. If they don't, they live to fight another 4 years. So it is votes, not violence. Let's take a quick break. We will be back with our front story. Welcome back to ABC in the morning. I am Abna Mante. Today on our front story, we are looking at balancing economic needs against the need for maintenance of our public infrastructure, especially paying attention to the lack of proper maintenance culture for various public infrastructure that have been built all across the country. And our focus will be on some of these infrastructure in Accra, especially the recent commissioning of the Spintex flyover by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. A commissioning that was done about 2 days ago. Many people are overjoyed, especially those who ply the route on a daily. They mentioned that now the congestion has eased a bit. A day after the commissioning, yesterday, it was reported that a first hawker or a first seller had already pitched her table under the flyover in hopes to make some sales under the flyover. Not long after, another had also come to pitch their spot. Whilst many made some interesting remarks about it that, oh, this is, everybody is securing their spot early enough so that nobody takes their spot away. Others raised concerns about it, especially as the Minister for the Greater Accra region during the commissioning mentioned that he does not want to see the springing up of kiosks under the flyover, as is very rampant under many of the flyovers in the country. Our public infrastructure is under siege, so to speak, not by natural disasters or aging materials, but by citizens' negligence to some extent that prevents maintenance culture. All across the country, structures meant to ease our lives are being repurposed into makeshift markets. The original intent buried under the weight of neglect and misplaced priorities. Flyovers like the recently commissioned one at Spintex may be at risk if this trend continues. with people who building shops under it, selling under. You see on your screens, this is when the Pokwazi interchange was commissioned, not long after someone had started her chop bar, like we would say in our usual conversations at the interchange. Already, there have been instances where public infrastructure conversations have come under pressure. Conversations about how, because of citizens' actions like the pounding of fufu at this interchange, you'd see that the flyover or whatever infrastructure it is having certain issues on them. The fufu incident actually sparked widespread critique and highlighted the misuse of vital infrastructure. In another instance, pick the Kwame Nkrumah interchange as an example. It has been used as a shelter for many who do not have homes to sleep in. So they have set up, you'd pass there and someone has hung his or her mosquito net and they are sleeping under it. I mean, that's the place for shelter for them. In the walkways that people should feel comfortable walking through, markets have sprung up in there. So now the space for the human walking is very limited. Look at the various overheads and see how these are footbridges that we ought to walk on, but there are shops on them. You go to Medina, for example, the Medina overhead, a long stretch of overhead, and hawkers and market people have taken over the footbridge, so much so that now you're walking in the small median that has been created between the various hawkers or sellers that have taken over the overhead. In some places, you'd find that those begging for alms have also taken over certain footbridges, so much so that you also will have to meander your way through them. Pavements made for pedestrian use in cities like Accra and Kumasi have become trading spots for hawkers and have caused congestion, has caused serious congestion that we have to also now, for pedestrians and hawkers, both of them have to now find a way of using it together without causing issues. But this is an issue that could endanger lives. So many people at once stationed at one place, and the number keeps growing. The number keeps growing. You don't see that it started with only 3 people and it's just 3 people there. It starts with 1. The next thing you know, 2 more have joined. The next thing you know, 5 more have joined. And then the number keeps on growing. Some say that you should exercise caution in the way you speak about this, because all of these people are there to look for their daily bread. This is where they've sold for long. Maybe this road was a road they were hawking on until the various infrastructure were put up. They still have to find a place to hawk. You go into Accra Central and every single pedestrian walkway has been taken over by sellers in town. So you're walking, and the next thing you need to do is to rather jump into the road and walk on the shoulder of the road, which may endanger your life as a pedestrian. But you also do not want to step on a seller's words, lest she or he rains insults on you. These are conversations that people keep having. Some people are of the view that we should not always keep being emotional and sensitive and empathetic towards the plight of those who need to sell, so much so that our roads are not what they were intended to. Because when this issue yesterday came up, the conversation that was rife on social media was that she needs to make her daily bread. Some came and said that, granted, she needs to make her daily bread, but not under these infrastructure. Some said that we should erect those stones, we should put the government should put stones under the interchange or overpass like they did with the Kwame Nkrumah at Circle, so that, I mean, it is a form of, it's an architecture that wards away people. So they say that we should rather do that, and then it will push people away. But the question is, should we always get to that point where you need to put harsh forms of architecture under the overpass before people will stay away? Also, the question is raised that if the economic lives of Ghanaians were good enough, we wouldn't see hawkers or sellers pitching their tents under overpasses like these. So these are the conversations that have come up on social media, where those who agree to their setting up, you see the Greater Accra Regional Minister breaking the woman's table. This too brought up some issues. They said, why are you breaking her table? With her little money, she has gone to have a table put together for her. Now you are breaking it because she's selling under. Others say, yes, it's a step in the right direction. You do that and she won't come back again. But the question is, if the economic lives of the people was better, was good enough, would they need to come and sell their bananas, their coconuts under these infrastructure? The conversation has been raised, the issue has been raised. That means that government has a lot to do. Government has so much to do to ease the economic life of Ghanaians, so that we will not see these happening. They say that if you go to countries outside Ghana, well-developed countries, you don't see people selling over under highways. It means that the structures are there, life is comfortable. Those are some of the issues that people have raised in the debate. That people have comfortable lives, so they don't have to resort to selling under these overpasses. So if you make their lives easy, they won't. If you make their lives easy, they will not come there. So it is also something that the authorities should also look at. Questions have been raised about what the various metropolitan authorities are doing about this, the municipal assemblies and all. What are they doing about this? You go to town and you see that these women who are selling on pavements and all pay some tolls to the various assemblies. And the question is, why are they paying tolls? The fact that they are paying tolls goes to suggest that they are paying for the work they are doing there. So if the assemblies would be strong or firm enough and say that we are not allowing you to sell here, so don't sell here, then the roads will be open for us to move. You go to Accra Central and a short distance will take forever to cover because of the congestion. When passengers sit in churches, one of the biggest issues is the fact that they are never dropped at the destination that the mates or the conductors advertised when they were picked up from their various junctions. So if they said they were going to Accra, and you sat in the church, the closest you would be dropped off may be at Cocoa Board, because the traffic is just too much, the congestion is just too thick for them to go through. So they'll drop you off and then find a shortcut to get to where they want to go to pick the next number of passengers to move. And then you would have to now walk a long distance, having to say sorry, time without number, having to be careful about not pushing somebody's wares. And if you unfortunately push somebody's wares, then after you insults have been hurled at you, you would also have to pay for the things that you displaced. So for questions like, for issues like this, it is why some who are not in favor say that indeed, move them out of the streets. And those in favor also say that if you tell this mother, you tell this father to leave this pavement, to leave the interchange they are selling under, to leave the pedestrian footbridge they are selling on top of, they are selling on, what are you trying to tell them? You do not want them to feed their families? You want their children to go hungry? Where is the next meal coming from? So where is your empathy? You ought to be empathetic enough to allow them. It is the system that has caused that. Allow them. One day, when they make money, they too will leave. But do they actually leave? Do they? We know that under any major overhead, you have found people selling them. We'll open the lines when it's time for Ghana Speaks to hear from you what you think about the various markets that have sprung up under the various overheads that we have in Ghana. Also, on the footbridges, the markets on it. There was a footbridge I walked on and I was so scared. The footbridge obviously had not been maintained over how long. It is, and I haven't used it in a long time, so I can't speak to it at the moment. But it's a footbridge that most of it was metal. And you could see that the metal had rusted and chipped off. So you would walk on it and you could see the road under it. But I think that was not enough. Right from the foot of the footbridge, where you're climbing the stairs to walk on the footbridge itself, people were selling. And on the footbridge itself, too, people were selling. My fear was, what happens if this footbridge breaks apart? The casualties. And after that day, I told myself I wasn't going to use that footbridge again because this was just so scary to walk on this. What happens? What happens to our mothers and our fathers, our sisters, our brothers who have to make a living, so they have no choice but to stand on this bridge and sell? What happens to those under the bridge who are selling under the bridge? What happens to them if this bridge collapses? Because it was basically made of metal and wood. You could see that's an old footbridge, constructed long ago. Maybe if the people were not selling on it, the authorities could have come to work on it to reinforce the bridges, the bridge or the other bridges in the country. But people are selling on it. Who is going to get off the bridge for a week to allow you to do any maintenance? Also, our authorities, why are you not maintaining some of these bridges? Is it because the people are selling on it, and because of that you don't want to unsettle anybody, so you know what, let them go on? But the maintenance culture is some of our infrastructure, our public infrastructure. Is it because are you not maintaining them because there are people using them, or they are fine? The video on your screen is from the recently commissioned flower pot. The traders say that this is where they used to sell. But now, after the construction, you can see this beautiful mural on the wall and all. The place would be used for grass to beautify the place. So they obviously have no place to sell. And they've had to move to the next available place, the shelter of the overpass. So what are they at fault? Actually, the question is, are they at fault? Or they were not even supposed to be selling here at the first place? These are some of the questions that come. The conversation, ought to be looked at from various angles so that you handle one well, you handle the other well, and then you find a middle ground. But for some of us, the best middle ground is for things to work and work adequately so that everybody has a right place to be selling and then won't have to resort to coming under these overheads and overpasses or selling on footbridges and all. It would be great if there were various markets that people could sell at. There were various shops at strategic places where they could sell at and wouldn't have to resort to coming on the pavement, going under the overhead just to sell. We spoke to, there's a video to one of the traders whom we spoke with, and she shared her sentiments. Let's listen to her.
Traffic on and some first, na traffic wa ha ko say almost start we no. Still traffic in room. But we are traffic in beba from. Tema for be fa ha, Madina for be fa ha, Akrama for be fa ha. Ni nyina na be ma traffic na ba from. Inti mano kasa me wo traffic in some na beba from. By the otosumienu, aye baby ayen ye ton ade say. But first na ha na na ye ton ade. But by a fine, almost say, Yamaha, near Mematonade. Now you are near pop. I said, we are almost your glasses for her. Like I said, the area here. And so, Bank of Ghana for your mama journey, police more your mama journey, a cigarette in my home, and I have no more idea. 6 years near her, almost soon near her, so beyond money, I had the boy of Punum. Said the bear bosume and son I bet you can yan see a benefit attitude. No more so much ha. Almost 3 hours, any baby aqua, and see a pomocho, only be fire home my. Because we are coffee, I are quatrafi. I did bosume and son I won't want your star at the amount, and I saw baby and star the amount. I son for the ha. And so I pray and see I know you're not at Ramaya, your papa nature. Oh, man, on my hair.
Have the lady in her issue because when the construction started, they were moved under the bridge, went under the overpass, so that they could work on the other parts. She says after when they went back, now their showcases were broken and all, and it looks like they would be evicted. But this is all they have known. This is where they've sold for years. This is all they know. If they are evicted, they are moved away, then what becomes of their daily living? What becomes of the profits they make every day that supports their families? So these are some of the issues that Ghanaians have raised. If you move these people, where do they get the next meal? Another section says that, well, there's nowhere they are supposed to sell. They should find a place which is lawful. They should find a lawful place to sell. They should find a shop at a right place to sell and then make their monies. Like I said, the conversation is a conversation that has to be looked at from various angles. We hope that the various authorities are able to look at it and look at it holistically. Let's find a way that Ghanaians have places to do the work they have to do, and also our interchanges, our footbridges are also do the work that they have to do. It's a walkway. Ghanaians need to use the walkway. It should be free for us to walk on it. We shouldn't have to be sharing it with somebody who is selling. If the bottom if the bottom of an overpass is meant to be there for whatever reason the contractors, the architects left it there for, it should be there like that. And then if somebody needs to sell somewhere, they should find a good place to sell. This is not something that one person can just get up and make decisions on. It obviously needs a collective effort. So we are looking forward to our authorities putting in structures and putting things in place to ease the lives of Ghanaians. We know that people are facing tough times. Ghanaians are facing tough times, and Ghanaians, as industrious as they are, or as we are, will always find a way out of the issue, just so that we can make ends meet. So we're looking forward to the authorities working hand in hand with the regular Ghanaian, so that life can be easy for Ghanaians, but also so that our interchanges and our various infrastructure can also be beautiful. Let's listen to a gentleman. When we come back, we'll be done with Front Story.
Traffic. Traffic by airport is 7:30 to 8 and traffic. But the limit na omo ye no sometimes chance ni ho into omo ya omo block baby na cars no maka bom wo fa akon and na cross traffic no ba me wagidie sesem ya adom na so omo ye wi a na omo kotema na omo ko islego no na ndadin se omo efosoro na se down no ka dia me nim se traffic no de antimi encho e wa habio enti de memi so enimu fa ho a kwan ya no and then they toss me no aha ya tin so no me so me hawo na toss me de to aban anim ana mpanifo Ghana mpanifo anim ye ne ye ta no de nye ne ne ye mu ne ta no ye adwuma me santi nyina ba nam se omo sa se omo ye kwan we nyina na ye wo ha enti omo tu e ko ha no mo tu akọ ha nti ense ni baby potin ye ton ade aha yi na ye wo yi ho enti omo tu e de ba ha isi a omo ye omo asase efense ba bia na ka so omo nya obia so betena ba bia pe na no do ane de sa anya ne ntia ne se omo bedua green grass awa ha ye nipa desani a ye nipa a ye so man na omo sore omo ba ye nchen ebo ye gate ese omo nya vote no de ye de omo ndwene ye ho se grass mo mu na omo bedua ye be ye bia ye be didi de nya omo asam ba nipa no mu ade ohia na nipa na ye den aboa ba so de woni boa ma nipa ni bia enti we omo de ndade be je ho nipa ngura ha no mo na empanifo am ho to mo se fata omo no de normal residi ama omo na ye ka omo hia ye vote ni de omo yi omo safre no omo yi omo safre so e ya how kasie ma ye wo ha ye ditimo wa ha sisi ayo ha ye ni ginabra bia e ma ye no ma omo be to ade a ye be nya bibi wo ho tie how kasie no me de ye me de ne se e ba be to aba abanya owo suyisu so onim se kasa make so tie na so odwiri nipa hu se nipa na ma ne power na ye de yesu kire o ma o mu fie ne de o mu dada ye se ya to ba no wie e ma o ma na so o mo yinsafu ye so de ya ye so be fa ye ho adwen so wa mo ye ba distance na ya to aba pa de a ye ba boa na no na enimu no na be to aba ma no enti o mo mo ye mtemple ya na enye ba bi nipa emu afo kora o mo de mu wa ho oh na mumu bibi fo mpanifo nipa dese ne mo nju omo ho uhia ne mu ade a o de obefa na na so on to aba ma o kwan ben so ye nye nipa pa na ye vote na ye to ma fa so be pa na ye nya frim anya mo ne mo yiri mu na mo dididi uji mi ko esa tuatum o aho kire kwan so esa tuatum ye hu mo bompo so na o fa aba ma o mo e fa so be na ye benefit for mo Ghana ha ye mpanifo no enti nyame so so mo so mo hwe enti sa on bebre.
So that's a trader, a hawker, a seller at the Flowerport interchange area, and he's also saying that this issue, when they started, they were told to move somewhere. Upon completion, they see that they are barricading the place, and also see that grass will be planted all around. He says that for him, the planting of grass goes to suggest that the human beings are not important. Where do they get their next meal from if they are moved from where they are? This is why I say that this issue needs to be taken care of. It should be looked at and looked at properly so that there can be some finality. In his conversation, you see how the issue of votes comes into it, that when their votes are needed, the authorities know how to approach them. But in other instances, they do not care about them. We hope that Ghana becomes a better place than it already is, so that all of us are comfortable and be able to work at the right places. That is all for Front Story this morning on ABC in the Morning. Let's take a short break. We'll be back. And still watching ABC in the Morning live on ABC News GH. Up next, the latest in sports with Derek Komi-Kisedu. And after that, Eric Melo-Chinebwa will bring you health tips. You don't want to miss that at all. Stay.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Votes for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Votes for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable.
This is where the headlines are probed, policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to? Have you thought about managing that header?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
3, 2, 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumikisiedu, and during this election here at ABC News Ghana, we say vote, not violence. Now let's dive into the world of sports. President Kurt Okraku has said the Football Association will expand the buses acquisition strategy after presenting case to 9 buses to Division 1 league clubs on Wednesday, November 20, 2024, at a short but impressive ceremony held at the Accra Sports Stadium. President Simeon Okereku presented the buses to officials of the top 3 teams in each of the 3 zones from the 2023-24 Access Bank Division 1 League season, which also form part of the Merit Award scheme put forward by the association. The presentation of the buses is in fulfillment of the pledge made by President Simeon Okereku at the 29th General Assembly held in Kumasi on July 10, 2023.
10 of our Women Premier League clubs. A day after tomorrow, it may be regional football, and next, and then the next, and then the next. Again, on behalf of the Executive Committee, I want to thank you very much for the support. On behalf of our clubs, thank you very much for being patient, because Kumasi and today has been a long journey. But you've been patient, you've been positive, you've believed in the vision, and today it is real.
Around the Ghana school under 15 boys and girls will face off against Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-finals of the WAFU B African Football, now African School Football Championship, respectively, today, November 21, 2024. The boys advanced to the last four after drawing 1-1 against Burkina Faso and trashed Niger 5-0 in Wednesday opening Group A game. The semi-finals contest against Cote d'Ivoire would be played today in Niger. The girls will also battle neighbors Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-finals today after they top their group after beating Burkina Faso and Niger. A total of 6 WAFU B nations are participating in both the boys and girls division of the tournament, where each nation will contest the honor of being crowned champions of the zone and secure a place at the CAF African School Football Champions Finals set to take place in 2025. The top 2 finishers in both groups will proceed to the finals that will be then determine the crowning of the champions, as well as a ticket to the CAF African School Football Championship Continental Finals next year. And now Ghanaian winger Abdel Fattah Issahaku has successfully undergone surgery following an injury sustained during the Black Stars African Cup of Nations 2025 qualifier against Angola last Thursday. Now, Issahaku shared an update on Instagram after the surgery, reassuring fans of his recovery. In quote, "All glory be to Almighty Allah. My surgery is successful, and I just want to tell you that I'm okay. I want to thank everyone for the best wishes," he posted. The 19-year-old successful procedure has brought relief to his supporters, who are optimistic about his swift return to action. Now, Issahaku's recovery will be crucial for both club and country as he continues to play a key role in their campaign. Well, that's it for the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more sports update, please follow our website at www.abcnews.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
Evidence temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now. Go on. Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-on?
Absolutely. If I
Good morning and welcome to the health segment on ABC in the morning. I'm Eric Chineboamelo and it's time to do some health tips. So we are aware that we celebrated International Men's Day 2 days ago. That was November 19, 2024. And so throughout this week, we want to celebrate men, not just that, but also raise awareness of the major health neglect that later affect us. So our focus today would be on prostate cancer. Okay, so the notion out there is that prostate cancer is for old men. Now, this is just a misconception. The truth is prostate cancer can affect young men too. So if you're a young man out there, these are the things you have to look out for so you can also take early actions. Now, recent studies indicate that while the overall incidence of prostate cancer remains higher in older demographics, there is a noticeable uptick in the cases diagnosed in younger populations, particularly those under the age of 55. Now, this trend raises important questions regarding the underlying factors contributing to this increase. This includes genetic predispositions, lifestyle choices, and environmental influences. Now, young men with family history and prostate cancer should also consider proactive measures such as engaging in regular screenings and consultations with healthcare professionals who specialize in oncology. Additionally, it is also important for individuals to educate themselves about the hereditary patterns associated with prostate cancer and to maintain the healthy lifestyle that includes a balanced diet and regular physical activity. So what are the common warning signs of prostate cancer? So let's get into that quite quickly. Just as you see the display on your screens, these are signs that shows that you may be getting prostate cancer. Well, prostate cancer may not cause any symptoms, especially in the early stages, now leading to delayed diagnosis and treatment. However, when it goes or it does showcase symptoms, these are the things you would actually see. So the first thing you would see is difficulty in urination, which may include a weak or interrupted urine flow. So if you have been witnessing difficulty in urinating when you visit the giant and you want to pee, but you feel like it's not coming, the discharge is not flowing as it's supposed to, it means that is a trigger. Then again, you would see frequent urination, particularly at night. So even at 9, 10, 11, you always up going to the washroom to pee. It is a warning sign that you have to check your prostate. Again, a sensation of incomplete bladder emptying. Whilst you're done emptying, you know, or trying to use the gents or the washroom, you feel like there's something again that is actually coming out again, more like a urine. It means that you did not finish discharging that thing. It also is a sign or a trigger. Again, discomfort or pain in the pelvic area, that is also a sign. So in between your pelvic area, there's this sharp pain that you observe. all feel it is a sign or a trigger of prostate cancer. Blood in urine or semen. Now, this is the most, if not so wild, let me just say, if you see these signs, I mean, blood in your urine and you feel it's normal, well, it's up to you. You're not really so much interested in your health or knowing exactly what's happening in your health, because if you're seeing blood in your urine and you feel it's normal, unfortunately, dude, it is not normal, okay? So when it comes to young men, they might experience unexplained weight loss or fatigue. Okay, so if you're a young man, maybe all of these signs that I'm talking to you about, you're not experiencing it. However, you are experiencing an unexplained weight loss or fatigue. All of a sudden, you're so tired, you've lost so much weight, you know your weight, but unfortunately, day in, day out, you seem to be losing a lot of weight. It is a trigger or a sign. So it is also generally advised that men should also start discussing prostate cancer screening with their healthcare providers around the age of 40. So if you are between the ages of 30 to 40 years, you really would have to pay attention to your prostate health, not just about the old men. A lot of misconception out there that prostate cancer occurs in men after 60 and all of that. Well, I've told you that it's not about 60 or the age. If you're younger than 20 years people or 20-year-old is experiencing prostate cancer, so the primary tests are the prostate specific antigen, which is the PSA blood test, and a digital rectal examination. All these, your health practitioners will help you do that. So these screenings should ideally be conducted annually or biannually, depending on individual risk factors and the result of previous tests, allowing for early detection and timely intervention if necessary. So now let's come to the lifestyle habits which can help you reduce the risk of prostate cancer. So these I'm about to say or outline may help you reduce or be at the less risk of getting prostate cancer. So you will have to, one, engage in regular physical activity. Most of us fail to exercise a lot. Like, we're so tired, we're busy, we want to run out to our workplace on time. We're always in a rush to get things done, but we forget to give our body some time to relax, exert some stress off. It means that if you don't do so much of the exercise or often, it means that, well, you may be at risk again. So eating a balanced diet which is rich in fruit, vegetables, and a whole of grains and healthy fats, particularly those found in fish, is also advisable. So taking that often to help you at a less risk of getting prostate cancer. Then again, it has been recommended that limiting the intake of red and processed meat. Most of you like to eat a lot of meat. I'm not saying that eating meat is not good, but they say that moderation is best. So just limit it, or if advisably you want to go a free meat break, it is also advisable. You also would have to reduce the consumption of high-fat dairy products. I believe you know all of that, so more like the ones I've indicated earlier. Managing stress through mindfulness practice. You need to rest. Sometimes you just have to pay attention to your system, okay? Just rest, because the more you put pressure on the body, the more you also get the risk of getting I nearly said breast cancer, prostate cancer. Also, getting adequate sleep is also required. So sleep, 8 hours of sleep is advisable as a human, okay? In as much as you have your busy schedules here and there, sleep is very, very important to the human system. If you don't sleep, it means that you're adding more stress to your system and body, and when it breaks down, you have no option but to succumb to the circumstances. So in conclusion, what am I trying to say? So while prostate cancer is more prevalent among older people, young men should also consider necessary measures and go for regular checks, okay? Now, this particularly is important for those who have a family history of prostate cancer. Moreover, it's also crucial to maintain a healthy lifestyle and limit food that can harm your health in long run. So you know all of this about prostate cancer, and to assess your risk, also you have to consult your doctor and seek for guidance. Well, that's all I have for you today on the health tips. I'm Eric Chinyabwa-Melo. Don't also forget that ABC in the Morning continues shortly after this. Catch you next time. It's a wrap for this segment.
Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business.
Up next is where you have your voice heard by all of us, and it is your voice alone that matters. Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
(05391616009). Let's hear what you think. And what question are we asking you? All of these unregulated trading activities on our pavements, under our bridges, under our overheads, overpasses, who is to blame for that? Call us and tell us what it is. On today's Ghana Speaks, we want to know your thoughts about a phenomenon in many urban centers, hawking on streets and pavements, from vendors selling fresh produce to peddlers offering knockoff goods. Hawkers have become an integral part of our cityscapes and our economy. They form a certain part of the economy, but what's your experience with hawkers? Have you ever been annoyed by aggressive sellers, or perhaps discovered a hidden gem among their wares? Do you see a hawker's entrepreneurship? Do you see the entrepreneurship providing essential services, or as an obstacle to free pedestrian flow? We want to understand some of the reasons why we see a huge number of hawkers on our pavements and all around. They have taken over the streets, and in any case, when you are in traffic and the heat is so much, without that hawker selling that chilled water or chilled drink or that snack that you like, maybe the traffic would be unbearable. So some say that they have their benefits, others say that they are nuisance on our roads. Talk to us, let's know about your experiences with hawkers, sellers on pavements and all. And the question, who is to blame for the influx of all of these persons who are making a living in our roads and on our pavement so that you have nowhere to walk? Call us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609. But you would agree with me that in that traffic, and also when you call us, please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. I'm calling from Tafu, Kumasi.
You're calling from?
I'm calling from Tafu.
Oh, Tafu, what's your name,
Kumasi.
sir?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, what is your experience with hawkers and traders along our roads?
Oh, here in Kumasi, for example, when you take roundabout to be particular, along the pavement, which is at the back of Ghana Water Company, it's a very risky place. But the city authorities somehow collect tickets from them, some token, knowing that place is very dangerous for them. So sometimes persistent accidents usually happen there. Yeah. And at times, the influx of the vendors along the road also oppose the movement, the free flow of pedestrians. But see, if the authorities do something about, let's say, finding a space to put some small kiosks, everything in this country is very huge. Yeah. So that's how some people, they have little amount of capital to start their business. So they resort to this type of venture.
Thank you, Ima. Grateful for your time. Ima calling from Tafo. Okay. Ima says the authorities are to blame for the influx of hawkers and sellers along our roads on the pedestrian walkway and all. You can also call us, let us know just in 30 seconds who is to blame for all of this. The influx of hawkers, of sellers in our roads, taking over our pedestrian walkways and all on footbridges. Who is to blame for that? Or should we allow them because they are also trying to make a living? Call us 053-916-1609. The number is on your screen. Talk to us on that. Because of this thing, we do not see a lot of maintenance as we should see. Do you believe that if they are moved from the roads, we'll see maintenance? Is that what you think? Let's hear your thoughts on that. Have you come into contact with any of these sellers? How was the experience? Were they aggressive towards you? Because a lot of people complain about the aggression. You are walking and someone is pulling you because they say, come and take a look at what they are selling. Some people, very unscrupulous people, grope you in public, and when you get annoyed, you're overreacting. They are selling. They need you to take a look at what they are selling. They need you to buy it. So they are pulling you back to take a look at what they are selling. Do you think these people need to be off our roads, off our walkways, off from under our interchanges? Give us a call. Let's hear you. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. And we will be glad to have these conversations with you. 2 days ago, the Flower Court interchange at Spintex was commissioned. Just the day after, someone had come with their coconut to sell under the bridge. And the Greater Accra Minister, during the commissioning, mentioned that he doesn't want to see any kiosks springing up under the interchange. So yesterday he stormed the place and overturned tables. He overturned tables. People who had already set up, he stopped it. He put a stop to it. Some were in favor. Others said that this is not what to do. Create jobs and opportunities so that people will be able to work. If they had good places to work, they wouldn't come and sell under the interchange. They wouldn't sell on our food bridges. These are some of the conversations that have come up. Which group of people do you agree with? Do you agree with those who say that we should move all of them? Or you agree with those who say that allow them make a living? This is all they can do to make money to take care of their families. If you move them, how then do you want them to take care of their children? How do you want them to feed their families? And these are the conversations coming up after the construction of the interchange. The woman on your screens mentioning that they were told they would be moved to a better place, only for the construction to end, and they realized that it was a ruse. And she's asking, what are they and their families to do if this does not work? So many conversations about this. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Frederick. I'm calling from.
Please speak up so I can hear you, sir.
Hello, good morning. My name is Frederick, calling from Bolgatanga.
Oh, Frederick from Bolgatanga. Frederick, what do you have to say about this in 30 seconds?
Okay. I think what they are doing is not good, and the other side also is good. But we can't continue doing like this. The authorities need to blame for this, because me, for instance, cannot just wake up and go there, sell whatever I want to sell. I have to see someone over there. Someone has to be with me. Someone has to give me the land. Someone has to give me the space. So I don't think other KMA or Accra Metropolitan, whoever is responsible over there, have to blame for it.
Okay.
Because that lady selling food over there cannot just wake up and go there. She will definitely have to talk to someone. Someone has to give that place to her. And she pays something for it. So the authorities must be blamed for it. Thank you.
Okay. So that's him from Bolga. He says the authorities must take the blame, because someone can't just get up and go and set up shop that they are selling somewhere. So the authorities must be blamed. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello, good morning.
Hello? Yes, good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Edusi Poku, calling from Kumasi Bantima.
Okay, Edusi Poku, what do you have to say about this? Who is to blame?
All I have to say, they should blame the assets, not the AMA. The people who brought, the people who sell over there. They should stop that. People say they used to allow them to sell and feed their children or their daughters. One of the armed robbers. So we have to leave the armed robbers to rob and feed their children. And what is no good? It's no good. Look at these beautiful things. Look at how they make there. Just now, he started to make dirty. They should stop that and stop that dirty politics they are doing in Ghana here. Look at these beautiful things. They want to spoil it. You say they should leave them and work and they feed their children. They should go and leave armed robbers too. They too, they have children and daughters. They should leave them and let them rob and feed their children. They should stop that nonsense in Ghana here.
Edusi Poku, thank you for calling us.
Okay,
we're grateful
bye-bye.
for your time. Edusi Poku says we should blame those who are selling, and we shouldn't use the excuse that they need to feed their children. Then he draws some parallels. Well, hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Larry. Okay. Great, Larry. Larry, have your say on this. Who is to be blamed?
You see, Ghanaians, we don't like beautiful things. When did they commission this thing? When did they commission it? And you want to, with your own interest, just your own interest, your food, your stomach alone, you are telling us what are you going to eat with your children. When they were doing that place, where did you eat? When they were doing the work, where were they? Are they not somewhere doing their work, getting their money? After they are finishing this nicely, something nicely, we'll be complaining, Accra is dirty. If you go to so and so country, you go this and this. Why? Why, Ghanaians, we don't like good things? When did they commission it? Tell that woman to go and find somewhere to see. where she has been sitting. If somebody gave her that place, she should go and report it to tell that person that they said they will not allow them to sit there. Why?
Okay,
Why are we Ghanaians doing this to ourselves? Huh? Anything people selling, what are we going to eat with our children? Everybody is complaining. What are we going to eat with our children? If we also will come out and complain, what are we going to eat with our children? Will somebody get somewhere to sit? Please, let's forget of what they are doing. Please.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Larry from Accra, Newtown. You two have your say. We'll pick a few more calls and we'll be done with Ghana Speak 053-916-1609. The springing up of businesses and overheads on pedestrian walkways. Who is to blame? Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Christian, I'm calling from Dambai, from Osi region.
Okay, thank you for calling. Tell us what you think about this.
Yes, no one is to blame from because that's my brother said earlier. When was this thing commissioned? Just about 2 or 3 days ago. And it's like Ghana, I don't like beautiful things. Because there are some places, let's say, where they've done the overhead. Those places, you cannot do anything. For instance, if they are not doing anything for them, you can do something or sell something. But once the purpose of the land is used, then you cannot come and claim that that place is your place. You should allow you to sell your family, blah, 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 blah. No. This is a place or this is a land that has been designated for a project. So once the project has taken place, it will be best for them to move somewhere else and do what? Create a space for them to sell. So that's why I cannot come and blame this one, but they should go to the person who gave them the land and report to them. So they should not blame anyone here.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Okay. So we'll pick 2 more calls and then we'll be done with Ghana Speaks. Tell us about the unregulated trading activities and various overheads on the pedestrian walkway, on the walkways that have been constructed over the roads that we should use, the footbridges, people selling on the footbridges. This was when the Pokwasi interchange was constructed. Somebody started a chop bar there, right on the walkway. Chop bar, pounding fufu. Others were sitting there eating. On the various overhead bridges, footbridges, you see people selling and active economic activities happening there. Who is to blame? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Well, I'm calling from Adenta.
Adenta. What's your name, sir?
My name is Ahmed Baba Umar.
Okay, Ahmed, have your say on this. Who is to blame?
There is also street galamsey. So if they are allowed to be there, then galamsey should also be allowed to do, just like Amrores. They are all Ghanaians. Attitudinal change is our problem. We have to change our attitude. What is right is right. Let's say white is white and black is black. Wrong is wrong. Is wrong. That's all.
Okay.
This is street galamsey. And we don't need galamsey in any form. That's what I can say.
Okay. Ahmed, thank you for calling us. Let's take a last caller and then we'll be done. So many of you have said that they should be off the streets. We shouldn't be banking it on people need to feed their families. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Jones Manu.
Okay, Jones. Where are you calling from?
I come from South Interest in Kumasi.
Okay. Please have your say.
If I have a big voice, I'll cry for my country, Ghana. Yes, if I have big voice, I'll cry for my country, Ghana. Look at all this. When did you commission this one? When did you commission this one? In fact, is there a marketplace? Is there a marketplace? Look at this nice, beautiful interchange. Why are they doing bad things in ourselves? It's bad. It's bad. You don't have to feed them time to sell there. There is a marketplace. If you want somebody to sell, go to the marketplace or go to your areas. It's not nice. It's not nice to do so. Why Ghanaians say we are doing this thing bad thing to ourselves? It's not a better. They should stop that thing. And to find some place better to go and sell. Look at this one. When you are driving on it, like from near to New Jersey, that very river, is better. When I saw it here tonight, I said, yes, yes. This is stuff and let Ghana beautiful at times.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless.
Okay. Have a good day too. Okay. So that's it. You've had your say on Ghana Speaks. Tomorrow we'll bring you another conversation where we'll give you the opportunity to speak with us. That's all for Ghana Speaks. Up next, Business Fix. We're looking at a myriad of conversations on it. However, one thing stands in the conversation. TAG, Trades Advocacy Group Ghana, have said something about the elections and what it means for businesses that the election is won in one round. Let's move on to that conversation.
With only 15 days to the general elections, the Trades Advocacy Group Ghana are looking forward to the elections won in the first round. We had a conversation with them.
The bank that I'm saving, I want to transfer money and you can't give me rate. You ask them for Forex, they don't have. But that manager will be quick in telling you, oh, this allergy is here. So what is the head of banking supervision at Bank of Ghana? What is he doing? What is he doing? So there we have a lot to do, but that's all. Bank of Ghana, the least said about them, I think the better.
That's it.
Also the election had to come and go. We now, our focus is on the Christmas. Mm-hmm. We see the Christmas more than the election. But the election is for the politicians. You get it? We will vote. And we will vote wisely. All the traders there, they know who they are going to vote for. All the traders, their mind is made up. They know they will put 1, 2, 3 together. And they will make their decision. So we are eyeing Christmas and politicians are eyeing 7 December. So we don't want second round. Second round will bring a lot of problem to us, especially the business people. We don't want second round.
What will happen in the second round?
You see, anytime when there is second round, the reason why I'm saying, then everything go back to the election. But if by the grace of God, 7th we voted, quarter by 10th, we know the winner, we congratulate the winner, we console the loser. Then by 15th, everything come back to the market. And all the focus will be on Christmas. Then we can also get something so that we go home and enjoy with our family. If you put small margin and you're able to sell more, it's better than you putting bigger margins. Yes, and our members, they are trained, we've been talking to them, they know how to handle customers. You get it. But Traders Advocacy Group, we are looking forward to a great Christmas. We know this Christmas will be awesome. There will never be any fight in this country. MPP, NDC. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. We will celebrate with the winner, with the loser, with all Ghanaians. Digitalization has helped us in that now come to the market. Even yesterday, I was on one radio station telling people, hey, you have to embrace this because you can never do without. It has come to stay because now I'm here. I can watch what is going on in my shops. When I traveled, I was doing the same thing. You get it? So now, go to my shops. If a day we will make sales of 100 cedis, 90 cedis come through on the net. Because we have our bikers, we do deliveries, they send you Momo. When I traveled, just put money on can move money from my bank accounts to my Momo too. So now you can't do without it. It's something that you see we have to, and more especially mobile money interoperability is one thing that helps our businesses. Sometimes somebody will come to shop, it's an MTN, you want to move money to Airtel, Vodafone now, Telecel. But with interoperability now, when the person comes, any which network the person is on, the person just push your money. And it's something that is helping us now. If you want to come to my shop and I send you Google location, it brings you to my shop. Even yesterday I was entreating all Traders Advocacy Group members that now, yes, you can minimize the stealing that goes on in your shop by putting on CCTV. If you have your CCTV cameras, and all goes through the digital system. So it's something that has come to stay, and we want even the next government to move it to another level. And TAG, we are taking a very big advantage because now we are creating a platform that called a TAG digital platform that around the globe, all our members can put what they are selling on. If you are in Azerbaijan and you buy, you give it to DHL. So you want to do something that like Alibaba and Amazon is doing. And our technical people, they are still doing it with their partners in India. So small time, we will launch it and our people will start putting their stuff on.
So how do people?
Once you are a trader, you come in with your Ghana card and your business registration. So once you have your Ghana card, your business registration with your 500 cedis, you become a member. Or TAG should be enjoying you. You want to enjoy from TAG. Yes, you get a lot of things like the education we give to our people, and sometimes we meet at National Theatre. We bring the technocrats on board, GRA, FD, Standard Authority, GIPC. They come, they talk about what they are doing that will benefit traders, then traders will ask them questions. Those are the things you get, and if there is a budget, our policy directors come, we elaborate on them, then we push it on our platform for them to know. You see, all those things that they know what to do. My sister, just take a look at when we were talking about after. I'm competing with somebody from Nigeria, 15% against 35%. And when you say, oh, monetary rate has been reduced, then let it come to 10. And let interest rate, even quarter, 15%. And you will see the way businesses will begin to expand. This is what we are looking for. But where they are still on the high side. It is not his idea. It's our idea. We appeal to him. And we want to give him a thumbs up that he listened. It came from us. It came from the trade associations. That this is what Togo is doing. Why can't we do so? So he asks his people, well, then why can't we do? And you see, sometimes it becomes exciting when you meet people like that, and after talking to them, they take some of these things on board. We met Dr. Baumia, we met his manifesto team, we put all this thing before them, and a fine space in their manifesto. So we congratulate him. We pray that God should grant him the wisdom and the grace. If he becomes president and he implements it, I have said, and I'll repeat it here. If vice president is able to implement this, Ghana can become like Dubai in terms of trade. I am saying in terms of trade, not the skyscrapers and the Burj Al Khalifa. No, I am saying if he is able to implement the flat rate policy, Ghana can become like Dubai when it comes to trade. We also met His Excellency, former President Mahama. We told him they need to, when you look at their manifesto, they have something similar like that. You get it. So, you see, when the manifesto, both manifesto came, some people will say, oh, somebody have copied somebody. No. To me, because now they began to realize that when we are doing manifesto, instead of us assembling some professors, this time let's go to the people. So I have termed all their manifestos as people-centered manifestos. That is why you see similarities in there. Yes. Because what we told His Excellency Bawumia is the same thing we told His Excellency Mahama. So if now they know that, hey, it's about time we take a backstage and listen to those who are in the soup. I want us to be there. I want traders to have that liberty, that flexibility in doing their business. Because see, if the person who wins this election is able to reduce interest rate, believe you me, there will not be any unemployment. Because we want to expand. But we cannot expand with current rate. So we will appeal to anybody that wins to reduce interest rate so that we can expand our business and do a lot of employment. Every bank wants to give loans. But you see, one thing that we shouldn't lose sight, the bank doesn't have money. It is you and I, our money that is there. That is what they are loaning it to the third party. So they have to also put in measures such that they will not lose it. So you see, one integral thing that Ghana card will bring on board is borrower identity. If the bank knows that this is where, have you asked yourself, there are some banks, when they are giving me facility, they reduce the rate because they know me. You get it? It is because of that. Now, take a look at this MTN, the mobile money, those small loans that they've been giving. Somebody, you want to transfer money to Abna, hey, uncle, don't put it on this, oh, I'm owing. Let me give you another line. You see, sometimes we think we are smart. We think we are smart. But because they want to reduce the risk, that is why the rates are high. So if we are able to identify the borrower, it makes it easy. Why not? I think interest rate you can have got the banks, but that is their common. That's how they get their money. They want to give loans. But giving loan, and you don't know the person you are giving the loan to, maybe the person can run away. So it's better you make sure that the person, you can identify the person. Then if that is done, why not?
Thank you, Mr.
That's it for Business Fix. Stay tuned for more insights into the business world right here on ABC in the morning. Thanks for watching.
And that's it for Business Fix. You've heard from the business community what they're expecting, especially going into the elections. For them, it should be a one-round election so that everything can come back to the markets, to the traders, and then they can make money during this festive period. But they're also looking forward to interest rates going down. We'll bring you more conversations on all of these, but look forward to more interesting conversations on Business Fix. That's all for Business Fix. Let's take a very quick break and we will be back. We are so grateful for your time. Still on ABC in the morning. And at ABC News GH, we say vote not violence. We're getting into the elections, 15 days into the elections. Please, it's your votes that we need, not violence. Let's get straight into our main discussion for today. And on today's discussion, we're looking at the counter accusations by the NPP and the NDC. They throw accusations here and there to each other and at each other over election rigging. We have only 15 days. We will be going to the polls. Why these accusations? NDC said that the NPP are going to use a certain Brigadier General Marco Poku to rig the elections, especially in the Ashanti region. They made some very damning revelations and they were so emphatic about what they were saying. The NPP said that they are committed to a free and fair election. There isn't going to be any rigging. Yesterday, the NPP, in response to the NDC's press conference, also made some accusations against the NDC. I won't bore you with much talk. Let's go and listen to the press conferences that these two major political parties held.
The allegations made by the National Communication Officer and the NDC are entirely baseless, devoid of any iota of credible evidence, and represent yet another desperate attempt by the NDC to raise tension and distract the people of Ghana from their own misdeeds. You level against a reputable army officer baseless allegations. You do not provide any, not even a single evidence, and yet you want us to take you serious. I have said that nobody can rig these elections. Look, we will vote at the polling station. We will count at the polling station. Collation will be done. The new patriotic party shall emerge victorious. His Excellency the Vice President will be the next president. Nobody can foment any sort of whatever form, whatever shape. We will vote in peace. We will cast our ballot in peace. Ghana will be united. Ghana will not fall. And I'm telling you, the new patriotic party shall emerge victorious. Indeed, the NDC's communications officer and the NDC failed to substantiate their claim with facts or evidence, demonstrating
to help them rig the election.
Take charge of a well-crafted scheme that has been designed by the NPP to rig the upcoming elections particularly in the Ashanti region, through ballot stuffing, swapping of ballot boxes, swapping of pink sheets, and other clandestine activities, starting with a special voting exercise scheduled for December 2nd of this year. The chairman of the Election Security Task Force. We will also be drawing the attention of the CDS to these developments officially, but not just him. Our external developmental partners will also be notified. And so the observers will be notified, the foreign missions will...
Current position, Brigadier General Opoku has been mandated by President Akufo-Addo to take charge of a well-crafted scheme that has been designed by the NPP to rig the upcoming elections, particularly in the Ashanti region, through ballot stuffing, swapping of ballot boxes, swapping of pink sheets, and other clandestine activities, starting with a special voting exercise scheduled for December 2nd of this year. Current position, Brigadier General Opoku has been mandated by President Akufo-Addo to take charge of a well-crafted scheme that has been designed by the NPP to rig the upcoming elections, particularly in the Ashanti region, through ballot stuffing, swapping of ballot boxes, swapping of pink sheets, and other clandestine activities, starting with a special voting.
So these are the accusations from both the NPP and the NDC against each other. They all say that both of them, they all level allegations against each other that you are going to rig, you are going to rig. So at this moment, who is rigging the elections? The NPP has gone on to say that the election will be won in a free and fair manner, and they maintain that their candidate, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will win the elections. The NDC has also said that their candidate, former President John Mahama, will win the elections. At the end of the day, 7th December, Ghanaians will go to the polls and Ghanaians will exercise their civic mandate, their civic duty in choosing who leads the nation for the next 4 years. But all of these conversations, only 15 days to the elections, what does this mean for our democracy, for the peace? What does it mean for us? What are they doing in leveling these accusations at this time? 15 days. Did they need to wait until this period to start leveling these kind of accusations? What do they seek to achieve in the long run with these kind of accusations? These are questions that are pressing and need asked so that we see a way forward. These elections are elections that are very necessary, very important, and obviously this election, regardless, will be one of a historical order. No matter who wins, if the two major political parties are anything to go by, no matter who wins, it is going to be historical in the nation. So it is just right that the elections are conducted in a very free and safe manner. We don't want to see any form of violence, but these conversations about Reagan, I know that anytime Reagan is introduced into any conversation, then you know that some form of violence will also come up, and we don't want that. Let's have a conversation with Roxanne Konde, who is the Director of Programs at Senco. Good morning, Roxanne. We are grateful for your time this morning. Hello, Roxanne. Good morning. Please unmute so that we can hear you, sir. Okay. We will establish contact when he is able to unmute. We will speak with him. We had conversations with him a few days ago, especially about the elections again, when he and Dr. Tanko joined us. So today yes, we can hear you. Thank you for your time this morning.
most grateful.
First off, let's take your initial reactions from these two allegations. NPP leveling allegations on the NDC doing same to the NPP. What do you make of all of these?
Good morning to your cherished viewers and the team at ABC News. Yes, as we edge closer to the general elections, these allegations sometimes are unavoidable situations with respect to witness. However, it's becoming increasingly concerning and worrying. Looking at the stakeholders that are being accused of perpetrating or planning to perpetrate crimes or violence during the election. So if it was normal rigging allegations,
just a moment before we go, can you please position your camera properly so that all of the light that is filtering into your room does not hit the camera so much?
Okay. Is it better now?
It is sort of better.
All right. Let me off the light.
Okay, so we're speaking with Roxanne Conde of Senko. We're having this conversation about this issue of leveling of accusations.
Is it a bit better?
Major political parties. Yes, sir, it's fine. It is okay, it's better.
Okay. All right.
So like
I was saying, if it is a normal accusation against EC or against other political parties of trying to rig the election or planning to rig the election, that would be something we will not be worried too much. However, when these allegations extend to people who have absolutely nothing to do with the election, can you hear me?
I can hear you, please. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So when these allegations is extended to people who have absolutely nothing to do with the elections, then we need to be very, very worried. And I think that constitutional bodies like Council of State, Peace Council should be more worried that, look, these allegations are not just about EC, it's not just about NPP, it's not just about NDC, PPP, PNC, trying to bring the election. But the military, that we know that they have absolutely nothing to do with election unless the situation requires for their intervention. And we are not even getting, we are now getting the election 16 days to election. And you see people leveling allegations against Ghana Armed Forces. I'm a bit worried.
Why would anybody want to introduce a security service like the Ghana Armed Forces into conversations of rigging? This is a security service that is not even in charge of elections. It's the police. It is the police that takes the lead on this. Why should anybody look at the force like the Ghana Armed Forces and say that someone within your outfit will be used as a tool for rigging? He was described as a hatchet. Why would you feel so comfortable to point fingers to someone like that?
Yes, so I think this is a very good question. And to answer your question, I must indicate that the only person in Ghana now that had or that will be under serious pressure to perform and to do his work, and all of us, including the political parties, are making his work more difficult, is IGP Dr. Akuffo Dampare. And you see, they are accusing these people because of the precedent that was set in 2020 election. If you want to refresh your memory back, what happened in Techimana, where 8 people, innocent people, were killed? They didn't say it was Ghana Police Service that killed them. It was alleged, or we reported, that it is the Ghana Armed Forces. Now, so if Ghana Armed Forces killed 8 people, even though reportedly, and nothing happened, then any other person is suspecting of anybody from Ghana Armed Forces doing something untoward, getting closer to election, the person has every right to be worried. If it could happen in Techimansa, it could happen in Asante region, specifically Kumasi, it could happen in Volta region, it could happen in Northern region, Tamale, it could happen in Western region. So I'm sure these allegations are coming now because of what happened in 2020 and nothing happened. 2, you will remember that on the 7th of January was midday to, let's say 7th of January 2017, we had military virtually invading Parliament. And I must say I'm very, very disappointed of Parliament. Having settled your differences, Ghanaians were expecting the Parliament to either institute a public inquiry to find out who ordered this military into the Parliament house. This was more like a coup d'etat. But look, because the MPs, including the Speaker, I must say, respect me, they got their positions, they don't care about Ghanaians. So that is what breeding this confidence of military. Now thinking that they will usurp the powers of Ghana Police Service to now turn themselves into what? Internal security agents. They don't have a rule when it comes to internal security unless the police service is overwhelmed and called upon them. And the law reminds or requires that for them to even intervene, there must be express written statement from the police service to them requesting their support. This we have not seen Chimansa, what happened in Parliament. We have not seen that. So these are the basis of these allegations against Ghana Armed Forces. And if I was the CDF or the Commander-in-Chief of Ghana Armed Forces, I should be worried.
Basis for these allegations, the NDC in their presser said that the Brigadier General Opoku, the person in question, because he was implicit or complicit in the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election violence, this is why the NPP is using him. Do you think they have their claim has enough merit?
I have not seen the evidence that NDC is basing on that to make this press conference. And you and I are in this country. I don't think at this stage of the political environment, NDC would just make allegations without any basis. Same, I don't think NPP will make allegations without basis. I have absolute trust and confidence that there are some iota of truth in both allegations. However, I'm happy that the communications director of NDC said they are going to present this evidence to the bodies, to the international community. In fact, he mentioned His Royal Highness Otumfuo Osechukwu II. So let's wait, let them present this evidence to these people and we'll see their response. Because they cannot just play, because there are a lot of officers and Ghana Army, there are a lot of people in the other security services. They didn't find anybody to accuse, but Brigadier General. It means they know what they are saying.
In your monitoring of the electoral processes so far, has the security service done anything? Have they done anything to envisage any plan to rig the elections for anyone? In all of your monitoring, have you seen anything like that?
As a matter of fact, I think that I will pat the Ghana Police Service at the back. They have been doing a very good job. I'm not saying their work has no blemish. They have some sort of force, but they have always tried per our monitoring to do the needful and to ensure that the right thing is done, even though there may be some bad notes among them. Let us not deceive ourselves. All these security service agencies or security service, the people in it are Ghanaian like all of us. They have their political affiliations. But when it comes to politically, generally speaking, the Ghana Police Service has been on top of their job. There may be some sort or there may be some bad note among them, but they have been doing a great job. And I think that IGP Dampari must insist that this election is a litmus test for them to upgrade their performance. I have not seen any open plan by any security agency, including the army, to rig the elections. So that is the more reason why I am more worried, and as Senko, we are more concerned of the happening now. And you see, we are trying to damage the reputation of Ghana Armed Forces, not because of the allegations, but because of recent times what we are using the Ghana Armed Forces to do certain activities. That has nothing to do with them. You move around and you see military men, okay, being bodyguards to ministers, to chiefs. Where have you gone wrong? What is the work of the Ghana Police Service? Are we not saying that Ghana Police Service is a usual institution? They cannot provide internal security? We are getting out of hand, and we need to sit down and reflect and look what is happening. We will let people undermine the Ghana Armed Forces, one of the respected institutions. And if you look at the CDD report, the only institution that people say was a bit incredible was Ghana Armed Forces. Now, look at some individuals in the Ghana Armed Forces. They are virtually trying to what? Destroy that image too. We are complaining of our court. We are complaining about our human rights institutions. But the only institution that can provide external security that we all respected is under scrutiny for what? Issues they have nothing to do about. So for me, I think that as a country, we need to sit down and look at those who want to use their personal interest. And I'm not sure if the allegations that the NDC is making is about the generality of Ghana Armed Forces. These are individuals within the Ghana Armed Forces that is dragging the name of the Armed Forces into disrepute. And the officers in charge of Armed Forces must do the needful and then let the Ghanaian know the truth.
Okay. As an election watcher, how is this allegation, these issues of allegations and counter allegations likely to impact the conduct of our elections?
I think that at the point of sample, if the people in charge of Ghana Armed Forces fail to come and respond to this allegation, then this will heighten tension this election. And let me be quick to add that, look, when allegations are made, whether they are true or not, the armed forces owe Ghanaians responsibility to give us their side of the issue so that we listen to both parties. They should not just think that it is Brigadier Opoku who is being accused. He has everything to do with the image of Ghana Armed Forces, and they must do the needful to respond to it. If not, the tension in this election will move to the tipping point, which is not good for the country. It's not good at all for the country. We must be sincere to ourselves. And I just watched a video where one Lieutenant Colonel something Kujo is threatening to beat people during the election. And in fact, he went ahead to say that he has a gun. If there's war in the country, you go and kill people and take their food to eat. He will not be. I mean, can you imagine this? This is Ghana Armed Forces? No. I just hope that that video is not the right video. And I'm even told this statement were made in a church. An officer who has gone through the rank to Lieutenant Colonel, come on. This is not Ghana Armed Forces. When we were all growing up, we respected and cherished. No. These guys have been arrested by now. So you see why some of these allegations are getting credence for an officer at the level of Lieutenant Colonel to stand in front of church congregants and tell them that, look, if you come to the lesson, I'm going to beat you up. I have a gun. If there's a war, I can kill people and take their food. I will not be. No, we need to sit up and reflect. Ghana is the only country we have. The only thing we are all enjoying now is the peace that we are all enjoying. And I think that officers in green uniform need to sit down and reflect. They are destroying the image of Ghana Armed Forces. And they are putting this election in the danger that we all are praying.
What about our politicians? If this intel they had they gone straight to the various people they had to give it to, the various authorities, without informing the whole of Ghana, would we be putting our elections in this kind of jeopardy? Now, people are heightened, their senses are heightened to issues of rigging and things that would destabilize the peace. Had they just gone to the various institutions, will we be here?
I think you are absolutely right, madam. The best way, and I don't know, I cannot sit here and conclude that they have not done that. The best way for them to have gone through is to have dealt with this thing underground, see how best they can resolve these challenges or these allegations or get confirmation so that these persons involved can be dealt with at that level. Now, will you blame them much? See, these are political parties. They are trying to get advantages over each other. And there have also been precedents where people have commit crime and they have been reported and nothing happened. The allegations they are making against Brigadier Oku, if you look at the Mesot Commission, he was one of the officers that was recommended to be recommended. What did we see? He has been promoted. So what confidence do you give to anybody to go and report the same person to his authority? So these are the challenges we are all faced with. You report before you realize the person gets promotion.
Okay.
You report before you realize the person gets promotion. So what confidence?
Richard,
what
we are joined.
Sorry.
Roxanne, we are joined by Richard Kumado, who is a security expert and consultant. Richard, you're welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Abina. Morning.
Yes. Roxanne, let me ask a few questions of Richard and then I'll come back to you.
That's right.
Richard, this issue, allegations and counter allegations, we're entering barely 15 days to the elections. Why should it be that always the first point of call when it comes to these kinds of allegations from our political parties is the media and not the relevant authorities?
Oh, okay. So I think they tax Papa Police to do what they have to do best. Is that not it?
NDC says that the military, there's a brigadier general.
No, you were asking why are they calling the media and not the appropriate authority?
Yes, because these.
Yes, so I'm saying that they are asking Papa Police to do what they do best. Is that not it?
Not just Papa Police. They are asking various institutions. They say that they will take it to their external.
So they are asking the right institutions in addition to the media. Is that not it? Now said the media there, you are a body, boyfriend, girlfriend, sister, brother, cousin, auntie with the police. Hello. you always work together. So whatever happens, they'll call media and call Papa Police. Is that not it?
Yes, but in this case, Richard, 15 days to the elections already.
Okay.
We know how the elections can be a volatile period. Was this necessary to come into the media?
Okay, so this is the way it works. The media, you have been in the media for years now. The media and the police, or with those in the security, intelligence, or law enforcement sector, these are the three things we do, and we'll continue to do them until we drop dead. One is to verify, to confirm, so. Yes. Number two is to ascertain the truthfulness of something. Then number three is to authenticate the genuineness of something. And whether we hear this thing or we've seen it at the choba, at the club, at the beach, at the church, or in the traditional house, it doesn't really matter, because whether we have somebody telling us or we have heard it or something, we will go and do these three things. The good thing about this particular one is that when you take the case of Sammy Gyamfi, he's somebody that the media and the police know so well. The person is accusing is also somebody everybody knows. The location he's talking about is a place where it can easily be found. It can be found. Then the item he's talking about, they are items that when you see, you can ascertain them. What happened with the police is this. Sammy Gyamfi now become somebody who leads them or who helps them in the verification throughout the investigations. They may go with him on the first day, or they may call him anytime they need him. So that is the good thing about it. And because it's a known figure, it makes life easier for the media or Papa Police to verify and confirm, authenticate and ascertain. And so that is what it is.
But Richard, why have we gotten to this point? Why have we gotten to the point?
You've gotten to this point because your democracy is not good. Your governance structure is not good. And you copy wrong things and you do not have the structure to maintain them. So if you look at what we are practicing here, it's not democracy and nobody knows what it is. The governance structure is not what it is. We are talking about Tema Harbor being notorious for arms coming into the country illegally. So have you heard somebody being prosecuted publicly, which will serve as a deterrent to some other people? No. There are people in this country who does legitimate business in arms importing, but they have a duty and responsibility to ensure that the arms do not find their way into the hands of illegitimate people or unapproved people. And when you live in a country where crime and violent crimes and arms related crimes is going up, then guns become a problem for you. Many of the shootings that has happened over the years, you could see politicians around it and people around politicians. Apart from armed robbery, some of these shootings happen around politics and political activities. So it makes the environment very hostile, it makes the environment very unfriendly, and it makes the environment very fragile. So that is where you've gotten to where you've gotten to now. But this simple thing I've told you, that Sammy Gyamfi, even before the Nana Boakye guy spoke, Sammy Gyamfi speaking becomes a friend of the police throughout the verification, the authentication, and the ascertaining period. If the police does that, we'll be fine. But whether they will do it or not is another matter. And the police are the first respondents when it comes to crime prevention, when it comes to crime prosecution and crime investigation. Why they don't do some of them is another matter. When my own main man, Dan Parry, went to talk about the blueprint for elections, what he didn't talk about was the people who were shot in the year 2020 during the election. You don't think that is a concern? It's an indictment on him. And even though I'm so excited, see Dan Parry speaking about the beautiful things he wanted to do in this election, the subsequent one, I was like, hey, big man, talk about that one. He didn't do it. He dodged it. Once you keep on dodging it, you are creating the premises where people will take the law into their own hands, saying that non-punishable of offenses will rationalize bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies in society. So, Auntie Abina, this is where we are.
Richard, but is it necessary that at this point in our election calendar, these things should be coming up?
And because you created the premises for it.
We did. How so did we?
Okay, so you create the premises for it because you don't punish people who break the rule. You created the premises for it because you condone evil. And your levels of negligence are just too high as a nation. There's no accountability and there's no leadership responsibility.
Well,
so you do some of these things. You can't do it in Rwanda. You can't do it in some other country because the structure works. And everybody knows, in every democracy, there are three things: rule of law, accountability, and responsibility. But yet, when people become complacent or they become so lousy and negligent, we allow them to stay in their positions and nothing happens to them. So invariably, you are opening up the space and say, everything is allowed, everything can happen, and you can get away with it. That is where we are.
Let me ask about proper channels in getting these matters resolved. If anybody has an allegation like this, what should be the proper channel they should go through to ensure?
Okay, so don't say allegation again. Say accusation, because this is a human being, you know. So say Nana B say this, Sammy Jemfi say this. They are accusing somebody. They are not alleging. Okay. So this is the way it works. There are some 5 things I want you to write it down. In an environment where one party seems threatened, or they see the environment to be unfriendly or very hostile, a maneuvering strategy or techniques will include the following: 1, proactiveness. Number 2, they react. Number 3, they distract. DISRUPTIV. They distract. They disrupt. Then the 4th one is to detract. DETRACTIVE. And the last one is what I'm interested in. They distract. DISTR. That is what happened in every hostile environment or unfriendly environment. So let's look at the 2 people who spoke. Sammy Jemfi decided to go for the last but one. Because he spoke and our brother Nanabi also spoke, what he has done is that he's distracting him. And the last one means that he's creating the premises to distract him. And if it's a conditional word, if what is accusing the guy of is true, then saying it publicly is distracting him, DIS, so that Papa Police could get to the various places, the crime scene areas, to be able to ascertain before. And he chose not proactiveness, or he chose proactiveness by saying it publicly, knowing very well that police is interested in what happened publicly, even without you writing to them officially. And because he spoke and our brother Nanabi also came to speak, it means that Nana is now reacting to what Sammy said. So do you see the strategy there now? Right. And that is what they do in a political environment where one party or both parties feel that the environment is hostile to them or is unfriendly.
Okay.
And that is what they did.
Richard, I'll come back to you, but let me ask of Roxanne this issue about GRA confiscating some weapons at the port. Roxanne, election period. This is the time where GRA has confiscated a number of weapons. Will this issue of weapons entering our country, the conversations have been very varying on social media. What does it mean for the regular Ghanaian who is expecting that they'll just go and vote and come? Does this put any fear in them that people are able to bring weapons into the country without detection?
Yes, before I proceed, let me greet Mr. Richard. Richard, good morning. Yes, so I think that, like Richard.
Hello, Roxanne. Okay, yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, yes, there have been some weapon interception or arrest of people importing weapons into their country in the past years. But the fact is that we have never seen any open prosecution or successful conviction. Now, when this happens, it emboldens the people who are importing illegal arms into the country to do more. Now, getting into election and weapons being seized at the port is a cause for concern, a call for us to be worried. And these would definitely have some negative impact on our elections and the people's anxiety as to whether the election will be peaceful or not. That is why it doesn't warrant any other officer, be it a military officer, police officer, to be igniting and fueling, giving oxygen to these tensions in the definitely increase the tension in the country, whether the weapons were meant for elections or not. Since we are getting closer to elections, they will have some negative consequences on our election, even though it doesn't necessarily mean that the weapons are going to be used during the election, but people's anxiety will definitely go high.
All right. Coming back to you, Richard, about the same issue of weapons, the guns that have been confiscated, how dangerous is it for us?
Well, if you remember, Tamahabo have been notoriously noted for importation of arms into Ghana, isn't it? And if you remember, this arrest was made, or these weapons were identified and seized on the 4th of May, on the 4th of November. I think today is about 20th or 21st or something. Yes. And so the question is, has there been any investigation? Why are the people behind these weapons not paraded publicly to serve as deterrence to some other people? But this is what we do. Sometimes you even hear that they've seized it and it got vanished somewhere in the middle of something. So that is what we have done as a nation. We deliberately pretend as if we are doing something when we know, no, this thing is not the right thing. And so I think that it is common practice at Tamahabo. For once, we were thinking that they would have shown to the general public who are the people behind this, who are their financiers, who are their sponsors. And we can even trace it to the US and find out where they bought the weapons. Considering the fact that it wasn't long ago when the US authorities arrested some guys who were trying to ship weapons into this country. You remember that story?
Yes.
They didn't tell us who they were and what actions the US government took. But you can understand that once they breach the US laws, the US government will take an action. But we on the other side, we don't seem to be taking the appropriate actions. And that is where we are, Abina.
What do you make of the elections we are going into? Do you have confidence in the stability and then the security of it?
Few years, few times, and many times in our election, the country nearly split. But if you don't follow closely, you know. But for some of us who have been so involved in election security and many of these things, many times and on several occasions, we nearly split as a nation. And the threat of splitting is always closer to us. And now, when you look at the blueprint Dampare put out there, these are layers of preparation and readiness for the election. But number one threat in this election is the electoral commission procedure. Number two threat is electoral commission processes. Number three threat is electoral commission leadership. Then number four is the negligence of Papa Police. Then number five threat is the voters not being in a position to be properly educated. If we can do these five things positively and productively, we will come out successfully. Otherwise, we have a long run to go and we need to gather stamina.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. We're grateful for your time this
morning. You're welcome, Abina. God bless.
Okay, enjoy your day. And thank you, Roxanne Konde of Senko. We're grateful for your time too.
I'm most grateful, Abina, and the ABC News. I'm most grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Richard Kumado is a security expert and consultant, and Roxanne Konde is the director for communications at Senko. Let's move straight into our second conversation this morning on ABC in the Morning. And in our second conversation, we're looking at the fate of the persons the persons with disabilities, beg your pardon, persons with a disability in the 2024 elections. We're having a conversation on that. We'll be speaking with Yazid Adam, who is a PWD activist, and Bismarck Amo, programs officer at the Ghana Blind Union, on this conversation. What is their fate entering into the elections? What are some of the things they expected to be done for them? At the various polling stations, have things been put in place, have structures been put in place to make their voting process a very seamless and comfortable one for them? Is the inclusivity a strong one? Do we see the inclusivity ranking high in this 2024 elections? In any case, we have been paying attention to persons with disability for a couple of years now. But let me ask you, even before we have our conversations, in your various workplaces, in your various churches, your schools, your mosques and the rest, have you made arrangements for the persons who with disabilities to ease their lives? For those who are visually impaired, what have you put in place for them? For those who are unable to walk, what have you put in place for them? These are some of the questions. In everything we do, we ought to be deliberate about inclusion. We ought to be deliberate in the things we do to include our friends, our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, our fathers who have some forms of disability, whether physical or not. So these are some of the questions we are asking. But today we are looking at the fate of persons with disability in the 2024 general elections. If you have anything to say on this topic, you can send us a message. You can comment under our post on our socials, especially on the X platform, or formerly known as Twitter. Tweet at us at ABC News GH_. Let's speak with Yazid Adam. He is a PWD activist. Good morning, Yazid. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Yazid, we are going into the 2024 elections, an election that is for every Ghanaian. Have you been informed on any structures that have been put in place for persons with disability?
Yes, from the we got about 80% of polling stations for voting have been made accessible for persons with disabilities, such that they are not on high grounds where people with wheelchair users can't access. They are also in an environment where the visually impaired person can easily access. Also, the EC has informed us that they have put in place the Tata balloting system, which will aid the blind persons to be able to vote independently. So when you get to the polling station, you ask or you request for the Tata ballot from the presiding officer, and you'll be given that for you to be able to vote. Then also, we've also been informed that preferential treatment will be given to persons with disabilities, and the opportunity to vote without joining the queue, so that we can get that done and then leave the polling station in time. So there wouldn't be the need for any person with disability to join the hustle. So these are some of the...
Yazid. Okay, we will establish contact with Yazid, as we seem to have some issues with... Hello, Yazid. Hello? Okay. When Yazid, we are able to get in touch with Yazid, we'll have more conversations with them. But so far, he says, from their engagement with the Electoral Commission, these are a few of the things that have come up so that the life of the persons with disabilities will be comfortable. Hello, Yazid. Yes, hello. Hello. Okay, we will establish contact with them, but we'll find out more about what the persons with disabilities will need from the EC, need from even Ghanaians as we go and vote, what we can do to also make their lives comfortable as we go and vote. Hello, Yazid.
Hello.
Yes, we have you back now. You were making a submission when we lost you. Please go on.
Yes, so I was saying these are some of the measures the EC has put in place to ensure that the voting process becomes less cumbersome for persons with disabilities. Yeah, so where the polling station will be an accessible area, not on a hilly place or a rocky place such that it will pose a lot of impediment for PWDs. And then with the voting process itself, to the visually impaired persons, there's a Tata jacket where you put the ballot paper in it, and then the slots available for all the candidates will be there displayed, and then there is a braille embossed on it to indicate to you that this is number 1, and then the rest of the numbers too are there. So, yeah, these are some of the processes the EC or the measures the EC has put in place to ensure that it becomes easier.
Yesterday, you had some conversations with them. We'll come back to that. But Bismarck Amo also joins us. He's the programs officer for the Ghana Blind Union. Let's have a conversation with him. Bismarck, good morning. You're welcome to ABC in the morning.
Good morning to your viewers and good morning to everyone in the studio.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. We are going into the elections. We know that our friends and our brothers and sisters will not be disenfranchised. They must not, because of whatever disability they may be faced with. Yesterday, you were in the meeting with the Electoral Commission. Would you say it was successful?
Sure, it was successful. It was just to receive feedback from the Electoral Commission as far as arrangement towards the 2024 election is concerned and the participation of persons with disabilities. And this is one of the follow-up meetings we've been having with the Electoral Commission since activities towards the 2024 election started. So definitely it was successful.
Okay. And the things you expect from them, have you been assured that they all would be given you?
Yes, so they are not anything extraordinary. They are basic things that promotes independent participation in election. And from our conversation with them, it indicates that things are underway to ensure the participation of persons with disabilities independently in the 2024 election. I overheard a conversation you are having with my brother Adams, and he started mentioning some of them, and this includes citing polling stations at the low-level areas where wheelchair users, where blind persons will not have to struggle to access the polling station. Secondly, it also looks at giving access to persons with disabilities to vote as soon as they get to the polling station, so that they wouldn't have to be in a long queue for it to get to their turn, what we call the preferential treatment. And then the third one has to do with the Tata jacket training, which is underway. Some districts are being trained on the usage of Tata jackets for voting independently by blind persons.
For the Ghanaian,
we were also...
Okay.
Come again?
Yes, for the person who does not know what a Tata jacket is, can you explain to us what it is?
So the Tata jacket is a folded card with dots on it, or embossed numbers on it, that guides the blind person to know which candidate he or she wants to vote for. So basically, it's a folded card with dots on it. Okay. And you are going to slot the ballot paper into that, and there are boxes on or shaped on the tartar jacket to guide you on where to put your thumb after dipping it into the ink pad. So it's basically a card kind of thing that aids blind people. It will be best described if we should have pictures to show. Orally, this is how it can be put forward.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Bismarck. Let me go to Yazid and then ask him a few questions on the political manifestos as captured by the various political parties. Yazid, in the manifesto of the NPP, they mention a lot of things they want to do for persons with disability. They mention an increased share of the district assembly's common fund by some 50%. They mentioned that they will create jobs for artisans. They will set quota for recruitment of PWDs for the public sector recruitment. They'll revive and resource your places with modern equipment and state-of-the-art workshop. They also mention free tertiary education scholarship for persons with PWDs. When you look at the NDC's manifesto too, they also talk about free tertiary education for PWDs. They look at strengthening the legal framework on disability rights. They also look at increasing the percentage of district assembly common funds and all. Yazid, these manifestos, these promises captured in the two manifestos, do they sit well with you, with persons with disability?
Yes.
Hello, Yazid.
Hello.
Yazid, please position yourself better so that we can hear you. We keep missing you at some point. Whilst we wait for Yazid to position himself, let me ask the same question of Bismarck. Bismarck, the promises in the various manifestos, how do you welcome them?
Can you hear me?
Yazid, okay, I can hear you now.
So let's
Yazid we welcome it, and you see, because these two political parties have been in government for 16 years each, right? So you ask yourself, which of the two political parties delivers on their promises whenever they make them? I know, and every person with disability knows, that it is President Kufuor that enacted the Disability Act, Act 715/2006, right? Every person with disability knows that it is President Akufo-Addo that increased the share of the Disability Common Fund of the assemblies from 2% to 3%. Every person with disability knows that it is President Akufo-Addo that has recruited our friends at the toll booths, and then when they lost their jobs when the e-levy was introduced, Youth Employment Agency has absorbed most of them. Currently, as I speak with you, the three public universities, University of Ghana, University of Cape Coast, University of Education, Winneba, they are all running a pilot program when it comes to scholarship for persons with disabilities. So when you pay your fees, the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, they pay you back. So it's a pilot program. So when it comes to promises and what they are written in manifestos, I believe, and every person with disability believes, that the NPP has demonstrated credibility. They've been faithful to the people with disability. They've shown that when they make their promise, they don't just go to sleep when they assume office. The part of the NDC that you talk about, in terms of the Disability Act, they've been in power from 2009 to 2016. After President Kufuor enacted the Disability Act in 2006, they did nothing about it. The disability organizations have been fighting for an ally, a legislative instrument. From 2009 to 2016, nothing at all happened. So when they make promises to us again, we take it with a pinch of salt. So I will conclude by saying that when it comes to credibility in terms of manifestos, it is the New Patriotic Party that has delivered most of its promises to us. And my sister, even going beyond the promises in the manifesto, look, the digitization implemented by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo has made life a lot more easier and bearable for PWDs, because a whole lot of things that now we are able to do on our own without anybody's assistance. For instance, when I am paid at my workplace, when I'm paid, I don't need to get to the bank before I receive my salary. From where I stay to the nearest bank is an hour's drive. All I need to do is to withdraw my money from my bank onto my Momo, and then there I go. That is mobile money interoperability. A lot of PWDs now purchase their electricity from their phones and it reflects on their meter. That is digitization, right? So we are much more convinced by the promises and the policies implemented by the New Patriotic Party than any other party. I thank you.
All right. Thank you, Yazid. Let me come back to you, Bismarck. Do you agree with Yazid? Yazid has mentioned the various factors that make them have more trust in the NPP when it comes to persons with disabilities. Is the same for you from your end? Hello, Bismarck. Okay. We'll speak with Bismarck very soon. But Yazid says that between the NPP and the NDC's manifesto on persons with disability, they will hold the NPP up higher because they have seen more expression with them. Hello, Bismarck. Yes, I was asking that, is it same for you, like Yazid said, that between the NPP and the NDC, you will pay...
I will speak from the civil society perspective, because that is what I represent. Yazid has spoken as a politician. I mean, when you look at the comparison being made, I mean, but from a neutral perspective, I think, yes, we've made some strides as far as disability inclusion in the country is concerned from both political sides, and some promises have also been made in their manifestos. All I could say is that we should, or the various parties should work according to what they've mentioned they are going to do. I don't know who is going to win, but it's important that when you make promises towards improving the living standards of persons in the country, especially persons with disabilities, it must be taken serious. And these parties must take all those promises. People promising free tertiary for persons with disabilities, others looking at education, entrepreneurship, and so on and so forth. We take them in good faith, and these are basic things we want to be seeing in the country. And we have the belief that they are going to live by their words. They are going to act on what they've said in their manifesto.
Bismarck, what specific steps would you like to see the political parties take to ensure that their commitments to persons with disabilities are actionable and sustainable?
So the specific steps are what they've mentioned in their manifesto. So we've not told them what to do. They are telling us what they are going to do for us. So we want to see persons with disabilities who want to go to the level of tertiary to enjoy that free tertiary education that has been mentioned by both parties. Yes, I must admit somewhere, somehow, that MPP government is giving some free tertiary education to persons with disabilities across all the public universities on a pilot base. But another political party is also saying that, well, we can do it better. We want to see that being done, because beyond being disability, parents of persons with disability tend to have some financial challenges, and for that matter, are unable to give the best of education to their wards. So if there's a promise a party is making, that is what we want to see. Apart from that, employment is an issue, and we want to see persons with disabilities enjoying those quota systems or allocation of quota systems being mentioned by these political parties to happen, because it is by this that you will see total independence of persons with disability and also contributing to inclusive development that we are all looking forward to see.
Okay. We are grateful for your time this morning, Bismarck.
I'm grateful for having me.
Yazid, thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
Yazid Adam is a P. Yazid, you were saying?
No, I was just saying thank you, and then for the opportunity. We would like to entreat every Ghanaian that let's make this election process a peaceful one, and then let us take a good decision when the time comes, bearing in mind the future, and then it will be well with us. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yazid Adam is a PWD activist, and Bismarck Amu is the programs officer at the Ghana Blind Union. We had a conversation on the fate of PWDs in the 2024 elections. They've mentioned that the EC has put some structures in place to ease their movements and also make the election process very simple for them. That's all for our main discussion today on ABC in the Morning. Up next is Politics Today. My colleague Samuel Nyimagbo is on hand to give us another constituency. Since Monday, he's been breaking down the constituencies to us. I know you have been enjoying it. Myself, I've been enjoying it. I like all of the analysis I'm enjoying. So stay tuned as he gives us another comprehensive analysis of a new constituency.
Advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot. You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions. Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
Evidence
temporary program. Why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to? Have you thought about managing that head-on?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis.
This is where the headlines are probed, policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-off?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television. This is where the headlines are probed, policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-off?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television.
Education. On November 12th, my name is Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, your Minister for Education. On November 21st, Thursday, at 10 a.m. prompt, great event will be taking place in this country. First of its kind, live broadcast showcasing one-of-a-kind event, the mega commissioning of over 80 schools across the length and breadth of our nation on various TV stations as well as other digital platforms. This event is to showcase one Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic, have led the transformation of education in a very fascinating way. Join me as we witness grand commissioning of schools across the length and breadth of our country. It's an event you cannot miss. My name is Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, your Minister for Education. On November 21st, Thursday, at 10 a.m. prompt. Great event will be taking place in this country. First of its kind live broadcast showcasing.
Hello there, good morning. You are welcome to another section of Politics Today here on ABC in the morning. I am your host, Samuel Nyimabo, and in the next few minutes, I will be giving you another intriguing analysis of a very, very intriguing constituency within the Greater Accra region. This constituency is known for its swing nature. And if you are a lover of Ghanaian politics and you want to know how the election results pan out everywhere across the country, this is one of the constituencies that you would keep your eyes on. I'm talking about none other than the Adenta constituency in the Greater Accra region. Now, Adenta was carved out in 2004 and is relatively young compared to other constituencies in Ghana. Since its inception, it has been a battleground for the two dominant political parties. I'm talking about the NDC and the NPP. It was formed prior to the 2004 parliamentary and presidential elections by the division of the old Ashaman constituency. The demographic makeup of the Adenta constituency comprised of a mix of a middle-class residents, civil servants, and a growing number of youthful voters, which has played a significant role in the voting outcomes over the years. So this is how Adenta is looking like. It is, like I mentioned, a mixture of three different demographics. We have the middle class, and we have those in civil servants, or the civil servants as well. Then we have the youth, who predominantly determine the voting outcome in this constituency. It is going to be another very cagey contest between the NPP and the NDC in the 2024 elections, especially the parliamentary election in this constituency. Adenta is known for its swing nature, and this election is going to be one that everybody will want to keep their eyes on, because in Adenta they have not had an MP who has had beyond 4 years or beyond a term. Now they always vote one term for an NP. You come one term, and in the next 4 years you lose, and you go back to your being an opposition. So in this election, Adenta would be a very key one, because the current NP, who is the NP for the area, I'm talking about Adamu Ramadan, the NP for the Adenta constituency under the ticket of the NDC, is the only NP who has had two contests under the NDC. He's the only NP who has gone to the elections on the ballot 2 times on the ticket of the NDC. Since then, or before him, there was no NDC NP that had gone 2 times. They always go once and they lose in the primaries. But Adamu Ramadan in 2016 was able to win the NDC parliamentary primaries, and he was able to be on the ballot. He was on the ballot in 2016. And he was able to maintain the same momentum, came in 2020 and actually won the national elections, the parliamentary elections in the constituency. And he's coming back again. So he will become the first NDC NP to go 3 times in this constituency. He will be the first NDC NP to be on the ballot 3 times in the Adenta constituency. Then he will be facing a rival who is a first timer. This is her first time even contesting in the NPP primaries. She won the primaries, and it is going to be her first time being on the ballot for the New Patriotic Party in this constituency. And however, despite her lack of, I would say, experience in this constituency, because he had not been on the ballot for a while, she still has a momentum behind her that you will need to pay attention to. So this constituency is dicey. Now let's get straight into the analysis for today. We are going to bring you the breakdown of the result since 2004. Like I mentioned, Adenta was carved out in 2004 from Ashaiman constituency, and this is how the presidential result has looked like in the Adenta constituency. Now, in 2004, the NDC had a marginal win in this constituency, 49.60%, as against the NPP 49.20. So it was just a 0.40 percentage difference between the two parties in terms of the presidential results in 2004. Then in 2008, the NDC widened the gap further to 53.3% as against 44.9% for the NPP. In 2012, NDC maintained that steady adjustment or steady increase in their presidential ballot, moving, still doing around the 53, the same percentage. They maintained that same percentage, doing 53.30, as against the NDC, the NPP. Although they managed to increase their ballot or their numbers in this at this time, it was still not enough to win them the presidential result or the presidential contest in the Adenta constituency. They had 46% in 2012. Now we came in 2016 when President Akufo-Addo won the elections for the NPP in 2016 in Adenta as well. He won that constituency. He won by some 51.40 as against the NDC 47.970. Then in 2020, NDC came back from the losing in 2016. They came back very strong and they managed to get another 53%, 53.35% as against the NPP 45.87%. So if you look at the dynamics, what it looks like is NDC, anytime they have won in this constituency, it has been within the 53 percentage point mark. Anytime NDC wins in the Adenta constituency, it has been within the 53 percentage point mark. Take note. And the NPP has only won once in this constituency since 2004, and it was in 2016, and they have 51.40. So they will be looking forward to winning in this year's election in that constituency, and because of that, they have devoted attention to the Adenta constituency and will be coming to what they are doing currently in Adenta to get them that result that they are looking for in the 2024 election. But the main focus in this in the Adenta constituency has always been the parliamentary results. Now let's look at this. 2004, whilst NPP lost in the presidential election, they won in the parliamentary election in 2004. So there was a bit of a skirt and blouse voting there. Now, 2008, NDC came and toppled NPP and won with some 53.40%. NDC, again, 2012, won with some 52.60%. They came in 2016. However, in 2016, NPP won in that constituency. Yao Babin Asamoah won in that constituency for the NPP. Now a defected member of the NPP, now with Alan's Movement for Change. Now in 2020, because in 2020, Ramadan and of the MDC came back strong to win with a very big margin, the biggest margin any NP has won in this constituency was with Ramadan in 2020, getting 55.89%, a very big margin. None other has done that. Now, this is how the parliamentary result has looked like or has been in the Adenta constituency. So anytime that the NDC has won, it has been a bit of a gap, a very huge, some huge gaps in terms of, in 2008, 54%, 2012, 52%, 2020, 55%. When the NPP won, they did that very marginally with 49% in 2004 and 50.60% in 2016. And this is how the results has looked at. Now let's look at the contest in terms of the parliamentary result. 2004, NDC presented Joseph Kabu Davis as against NPP Kojo Opare Hammond. Now, Opare Hammond won this election for the NPP, very marginal, with just a difference of what? 644 votes. A difference of 644 votes. In terms of his total vote, he had 17,964. So the difference was very marginal, as we saw in the percentage difference. Let's look at what 2008 was like for the Adenta constituency in terms of the parliamentary result. In 2008, NDC changed their face, brought a new candidate, like I mentioned. Up until 2016, they had always changed the parliamentary candidate for the party. Up until 2016, NDC has always changed the parliamentary candidate. Now in 2008, they brought in Kojo Edu Asare. Now, Kojo won this election, increased the NDC's gap, won it by some 20,330 votes, gave a very big margin of 3,584 votes. As against Kojo Hammond, who was the incumbent then, lost the elections because Adenta don't vote you beyond 4 years. So Hammond couldn't beat that jinx. He lost the election. Now let's look at what 2012 looked like. 2012, Emmanuel Ni Ashimon, the current Greater Accra NDC chairman for Greater Accra, the Greater Accra chairman for the National Democratic Congress, Emmanuel Ni Ashimon. Now, Ashimon won the elections, all right, but you saw that his percentage point decreased. Edu Asare did some 54%. Ashimon did around 52%. That is a drop in the percentage point. But he still won with some 4,610 votes, even though the percentage point looks smaller than the previous NDC candidate. The actual vote, the nominal vote difference, was higher than the one before him. Now, the NPP in 2012 presented a Siam Rabina Francis. She lost the election, getting some 30,526 votes. It was not enough for her to win in this constituency. Now, let's look at 2016. The first time Adamu Ramadan made the ticket for the NDC, defeating Ashimon in that primary contest within the NDC. He defeated the incumbent MP, came in and lost the election, got some 48.61%, around 32,588 votes, lost to a new face for the NPP in that constituency as well, Yabu Asamoah, then under the NPP. He won with some 33,952% votes, with a difference of some 1,364. If you look at this figure, Adamu Ramadan's figure that he lost in 2016, let's keep a look at it. He had 32,588 votes. This was a drop in the nominal value that Ni Ashimon got within the constituency. It was a very big drop. Let's look at what Ramadan did in 2020 when he won the elections. Let's keep an eye on him because he's on the ticket again for the NDC. Let's look at what Ramadan did again. Now let's go to the 2020 result. The same personalities. We have Adamu Ramadan of the NDC as against Yabu Asamoah in 2020. Adamu came back very strongly, defeated Yabu Asamoah with a whopping 63,436 votes. As against Yabu Asamoah for 49,255 votes. A difference of over 14,000, actually 14,181 votes. The biggest margin that anyone has ever won in the Adenta constituency. So this man would be looking to what? To cement his place in the Adenta and break the 4-year jinx. Will he be able to maintain this big figure? So if you look at the difference, he did around 33,000 in 2016 and came back to do 63,000. That is about 30,000 plus votes he added to his voting or to his vote in 2020. 30,000. That's unprecedented in Adenta. So let's look at the percentage change, the percentage change, because it's very key. It's not just about who won. Let's also look at how the party has been performing in terms of the change in the parliamentary elections, the percentage change in the vote. The percentage change in the vote. In 2004, NPP won. But in 2008, the vote they got when they lost the 2008 election was a percentage drop of 7.91. A percentage drop of 7.91. So it means that the NPP didn't do well. Now the NDC rather increased their vote by some 18.86%. That was a huge figure for the NDC in 2008. In 2012, the NPP, from dropping their vote by 7.19 in 2008, they increased it further by some 45.47, but it was still not enough for them to win the 2012 elections. NDC, on the other hand, also increased their votes by some 49.47% in 2012. Very big increase from this vote. It means that they increased the 2008 vote, they increased it by 49.7% to be able to win the 2012. 2016, when NDC lost, they dropped by some 7.83% of the vote they had in 2012. The NPP increased theirs by some 10% or some 10.09% in 2016. So whatever vote they got in 2016, as we saw earlier, whatever vote they got in 2016, as we saw earlier, Francis Arabina's vote, Yababina Samoa increased that by some 10.09%. Yababina Samoa again in 2020 increased it by he increased his 2016 vote by some 31.07%, but it was still not enough because Adamu Ramadan in 2020 increased his vote margin by some whopping 48.63%. That is almost half of the vote he got in 2016. He increased it by almost half of the vote he got in 2016. So if you look at the percentage changes that has occurred in the Adenta constituency, for a party to win, it means that they must not just increase their vote within the constituency, but they have to do so and increase it beyond what their opponent will have in that constituency. So the percentage change is very important. You must not just increase your vote, but increase it to an extent that your other candidates, your contestants, will not be able to get. Now, if you look at this, is the two candidates that are going to keenly contest in the 2024 elections. The question is, who wins in the Adenta constituency? Is it the incumbent NP, Mohammed Adamu Ramadan, or a new face, Akosia Menu? People normally, or her supporters, call her Kozi. Would she be able to maintain what the history books have been like in Adenta, where we have a sitting NP has never crossed 4 years? Will she be able to win and maintain that? Or Adamu Ramadan would be able to break that jinx in 2020? So let's look at what is going to determine which of these is going to win in the constituency. How will the voting look like? What factors would inform the voters within the constituency? Because for any of these two to win, it will be on their work they are doing in the constituency based on these factors. Now, like I mentioned, Adenta is a complex constituency made up of a mixture of middle class, civil servants, and the youth. And the rapid population growth within Adenta, people are moving in across different parts of the country into this constituency, making it a very difficult one for a party to win. So it is always about people are moving in from different parts of the Greater Accra region to the Adenta constituency because it's a nice place to stay. So people are coming to stay in Adenta. So if you want to win, you must appeal to the new voters that have come to your constituency, the new influx, the new people who have come into the constituency. You must appeal to them. And as a matter of fact, Adamu Ramadan and Koze has a very difficult work to do, because it's one thing appealing people you already know, than the other is appealing people you don't know them, people who are new entrants into the constituency, and every year they keep on coming because your place is a nice place to stay. So Adenta, these two must appeal to those new voters that will be in the constituency. Another thing, it will be the economic concerns within this constituency. They would have to appeal to the economic needs, the unemployment situation, infrastructure related, roads within Adenta is a concern as well in these 2024 elections. Some roads within the constituency are considerably good. Some are motorable, others are nothing to write home about. So the sitting MP will have a lot to be accounted for. We know in Ghana, even though MPs are not supposed to be constructing roads, whatever roads in their constituency are not constructed, they are held accountable when the MC or the DC are there to be held accountable. The voters rather hold their MPs accountable. So by that fact, Adamu Ramadan will have some questions to answer. Even though his president is not in power, people will still hold him accountable. And that's where this lady comes in. That's where Kozie comes in, because she has been doing some very good works within the constituency, even as a candidate yet to be elected MP. She has made sure they've built, constructed some roads within the constituency. I've been through that constituency for some time, and I've seen roads that have been done, and the voters and the constituents are telling me, oh, this road was led by Kozie. Kozie came here and she made they brought some grader to grade the place and all of that. So it means that she is making strides in that regard. She's making strides in that regard, playing into the incumbency advantage. She has a sitting president and she has a sitting vice president. And I must mention that the vice president's wife has a relation to Adamu Ramadan. They are actually siblings. The vice president's wife are siblings. Is a sibling to Adamu Ramadan, and that's another dynamic that will play out in this election. Will the vice president and the family want to support their in-law, or they will support somebody from their party? So these are the key things. And another thing, the youth in Adenta are going to be a very key demographic that these two must look out for. Appeal to the youth faction. And once again, Kozie is doing that. We've seen her organize youth games for the Adenta constituent, football games, and even recently, a week ago, she brought Ghanaian dancehall artist Shatta Wale to the constituency to hold some fun games for the youth. So she's appealing to the youth, but beyond that, she must also appeal to them in creating jobs, digital infrastructure for the youth in Adenta. Like I mentioned, they are a major voting bloc within this constituency, and that is what Kozie must be looking out for beyond the fun games and the, some will call it the theatrics, right? So, and that's another intriguing factor that these two must appeal, or the voting bloc they must appeal to. So, like I mentioned, Adenta is one that you have to keep your eyes on. No sitting NP has gone beyond 4 years. And then again, we have the only candidate on the NDC, the only candidate on the NDC's ticket that is going for the third time running without being disposed, without losing his parliamentary elections. It means that he's doing something right. He won the primaries for the party in 2016, won it in 2020, and by 2020 extension went ahead to win the 2020 parliamentary elections. And he has gone to be on the ticket for the NDC again. So it is a very intriguing moment for him. He's the only person to have done that, and that might play save for him, because it means that he's doing something right. So this is how this is going to look like in the Adenta constituency. These two has a very important job to play. They have to appeal to the youth, appeal to the new voters that are constantly coming into the constituency, and they have to provide jobs, build, construct, make sure they lobby for the roads in the constituency to be constructed. And Adamu Ramadan has the vice president's wife as a sibling. Will the vice president's wife be supporting his sibling or her sibling, or she would support somebody from her party who is Cozy, or she will play safe and stay out of the contest and look at what will happen within the Adenta constituency. So on December 7, keep your eye on Adenta, and ABC News Ghana will be in Adenta to give you all the live updates, how the voting is turning up, and the results as they trickle in. We'll be giving you the live update on December 7th, and even trust us to bring you a preview of the elections. We'll give you the preview from December 6th into December 7th, and this constituency will be one we will touch on again. Right now, before I take a leave of you, let's just look at who this lady is. Who this lady is and why she's going to play a key factor in this election. Like I mentioned, she's a first-time NP, known by her name Cozy, and she won the NPP parliamentary elections in 2023, a year ago in December. I was there to cover that election. Very keenly contested election. She won by 814 votes as against her opponent. There were about 4 or 3 opponents. The one that came close to her had 638 votes. Kwesi Obing Fosu, who was very also a key figure in that constituency. People liked him, but most people liked Cozy than him, so they voted for Cozy to win. Now, before then, she serves as the deputy chief executive officer of the National Youth Authority, and by that alone, she brought the resources and all that she could, the support from the party to win the parliamentary elections. And like I mentioned earlier, the momentum that she's coming with is one that is interesting, and if she plays her cards well, she might be able to maintain the history in Adenta without allowing Adamu Ramadan to break it. Adamu is a known figure in the constituency because he's been on the ticket in 2016, in 2020, and he's going again in 2024. The only MP to have done that in this constituency. So Adamu is well known in the party. But Cozy comes in with a new momentum that Adamu Ramadan and the NDC must be worried about. And this is how Adenta is going to shape up in the 2024 parliamentary and presidential elections. Once again, I am your host on Politics Today, Samuel Nimabo, and tomorrow we'll be bringing you another section of the constituency analysis. Be coming to your constituency, so don't change your dial. It might be your constituency that will come and do the analysis on. And if you have any comments on this, kindly share them with us on our social media platforms, on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube at ABC News Ghana. Once again, it is Poll Center where we bring you all this analysis. So on Poll Center, we say vote not violent. Go out and cast your vote in a peaceful manner without indulging in any form of violence. I am Samuel Nimabo. Have a lovely morning.
You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS.
Back after that comprehensive analysis on politics today. Up next is Happy Hour. Happy Hour today, because we are getting into the elections, let's enjoy some peace songs.